All right.
All right. Okay, well,
Great.
you can start. Go ahead, Craig.
Welcome to another episode of Craig Butler's Football Unfiltered. Welcome, Jamar. Welcome, Brandon. Brandon is now in Canada. He's been there for a little while. I can see he's lost his tan. And
Yeah.
I am keeping mine for a little bit longer. Jamar is one of our journalists as well, and media. He's starting his media show, and so I've been on his show, and we've invited several of the 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 media in today to join us for this show. This show poses to be a very powerful one, and we're going to discuss. As you can see, some of the Phoenix players are here with us, um, and we are going to discuss some of the great options we have and what we're going to be doing in the next um, week and a half. Right? So we currently have with us from around the room. Let's just speak about them. Can you just tell us your age? Just push your head in. Tell us your age and your name, your position, and how long you've been at Phoenix and what's happening.
My name is Dontae, known as Mikey Jr. I'm 18 years old, born March 10, 2004. I play numerous positions.
Sorry not to cut you. Speak up a little, please, Mikey.
I play numerous positions, center back, right back, anywhere, and I can use both feet and have pace.
Okay. How long you been at Phoenix now?
Been at Phoenix for 4 years now.
4 years.
Yeah.
Okay. You came when you were 14.
13.
Okay, so you've been here for 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Mikey. Welcome. Um,
Hi, my name is Dante, Duncan. I'm 19 years old. A left wing and a right wing. I can use both feet. I've been at Phoenix for about 10 years now.
Okay. Very important to project your voices loudly because, as you can see, the camera is a good little distance away. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get this louder, right? Jermaine Johnson, respect. Just hailing up everybody as they go through. Stick with us, and you're gonna hear a lot today. You're gonna hear a lot about the rules of FIFA. You're gonna hear a lot about the players. You're gonna hear a lot about the great opportunities that we've been unearthing and what's gonna be happening with these guys. So let's turn it over to our big centre half.
Hi, my name is Daniel Mitchell, otherwise known as Louis. I play centre back, use both feet. I'm more like an attacking centre half. Been on Phoenix for 2 years now.
Attacking centre half.
Yes.
What the hell is that? Tell me about it. They don't know because they're saying that.
Yeah.
Sure, Jamar is saying that right now.
Yeah, well, I kind of have an idea, but
Because you've been around us.
Yeah.
That's Mikey's specialty too.
Yeah. Tell us about it. What is an attacking centre half?
Like when you play the ball forward, you just follow the play, go straight in the box. And the winger get the cross and finish.
Okay, so that's like who? What type of player play? Who do you know that actually plays centre half and plays like that?
Sergio Ramos.
Sergio Ramos and Koulibaly. Yeah, Koulibaly from Napoli. He was at Genk as well. Right? So let's talk a little bit more. Also, we have Neck.
Hello, my name is Davis Clinton, also known as Neck. I'm 17 years old. I've been at Phoenix for about 7 months. I play center forward, left wing, right wing. Powerful shot, strength, and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah, you're from where are you from originally?
I'm also from Virginia, USA.
And you just went on a trial with North Carolina.
Yeah.
At North Carolina, he was offered an academy contract to go and join them. We don't believe, though, that at this point that he would benefit him to go on an academy contract. We'd rather wait, develop him some more for another 6 months. He turns 18, and then we get him off into a better situation where he can be ready and go ahead and play pro right away. So next person.
Hi, my name is Michael Graham, otherwise known as Bob. My strengths are shooting, passing, and attacking the box at all time. I've been at Phoenix for 8 years now. Uh,
How old are you?
18 years old.
We're 8 years. You've been there since you're 10. Okay. And what are the main things you love about this academy?
There's a lot of things. Like,
All right.
like the environment, everything.
All right. We have a new player that just joined us, and he's actually not from the US and he's not from Jamaica. But I'll let him tell you where he is from. I can tell you what I've seen in him: extreme passion, skill, speed, tenacity, willingness to learn, humility. Yeah, so he joined us. So let's talk to him a little.
Hi, my name is Sherman Phillips. I'm from Vincent. They already told me my strengths and everything. So I've been at Phoenix for like a month now.
1 month. Position you play?
Anyway, wing, mostly wing.
Yeah.
Anyone who use more feet.
Have you seen some weird things happening at Phoenix? Like in terms of positions?
Yeah,
You ever seen that before in your life?
no.
Tell me, for example, tell us what are the weird things you
So
see.
we play with sometimes three players on the wing. So when you have the ball on the opposite wing, which is one player on the wing, switch it back. No. When
Build it on this side, yeah.
when we build it where the three are, when we draw the opposite team, switch it to the player on the next wing.
Yeah.
And then we score.
So we overload one side, we use sometimes two right wingers, two left wingers.
Coach, I want to ask this. I want to ask him a question real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
So any relation to Jamaica? Any at all besides you currently reside here? No relation?
If you have any Jamaican family or not. No,
No.
nothing.
All right, coach.
Nothing.
We need to start work on the passport then from now. All right, coach. Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that. I have to work on a passport for St. Vincent. The way how things are going. Yeah. But he actually scored against Mona. He played for JC in this year's Manning Cup.
Mhm.
Top player, really, really top player, and top attitude. And we're glad to have him. Yeah.
Cool.
So let's go to our next player. None other than Little Ted.
Theo.
Hi, my name is Duncan. I'm 15 years old. I play several positions everywhere in the pitch: centre back, right back, left back, 6, 8, 10, wing, centre forward. It doesn't matter. My strengths are I can pass ball, especially through passes. I can shot off both feet. I'm a very good player at listening on the pitch. Sometimes on the pitch, like when I'm frustrated, and I've been at Phoenix for 2 years now. It's a really good environment, great family, be here. It's really nice.
All right. So good night. Good night, Mr. Butler. Good night, DATV. Good night, everyone. So we want to talk a little bit about what we're going to be doing in the next few days, right? But before we say that, let's speak about the Colts matches today. Whisper scored, I think, 3 goals and assist 2. Or the other way around. Scored 2 and assist 3. I think it's more 3 and assist 2 for KC today. Who did I play?
Wow.
Camperdown, and beat them by 5. Dylan played very well for JC. JC beat Charlie Smith by 2 goals to 0. Mona High played very well against Georges with 5-3 the score, but we had led by 5 goals to 1. at one point, and we pulled off we stepped up, backed off the gas. So it was very good. Dante Peralto played excellently. Really, really good game from Itis, otherwise known as Robinho Gordon. Um, Super Portion played well as well, and also very good game from Papa um, um, Hazard. So the midfielders played well. All of them all played well, but the Phoenix players really featured well in today's Colts games and did well. I think Angel also played well for KC, and so it's very exciting to see that the next generation coming up are top level. Um, so let's get into the meat of the matter and as to why these boys are here today. We will have partnered again with another club in Malta in the Premier League, and we'll be taking over about 7 or 8 players to Malta. I don't want to say what club it is, but suffice it to say that they qualified from the second division into the Premier League, and we'll be strongly partnering with that group, that club. And so several of these guys will be leaving here. I don't think they'll play their last year Manning Cup, and I don't care if we win or lose Manning Cup. It doesn't matter for Mona. What matters is the opportunities for the players. Michael plays for JC, and so did Shamar at one point. But now is the time to move on for the best interest of the players. When you keep a player until he's 19 years old, you're actually wasting a year of important time of transition.
Wow, so that's big news, Craig. When does that partnership start, or has started officially?
Has started. We're getting the visas for them, and they'll be leaving short. In addition to that, we have 4 players that are going to Real Sociedad in Spain. Real Sociedad is about 5th or 6th in La Liga right now. Really top team. Very good quality players there, and a good environment for these guys to wet their nozzles and start their careers. So we have Dujaun Richards will be going, along with Dante Duncan, Buster raise your hand so I can see. Yeah. And well, they can only see a hand, Buster.
Lean in. There you go.
There you go, Buster. Yeah, Buster is a winger. Also going is Donhue Mitchell Duvey, the central defender, and he's the best. I believe right now he's the best central defender under 23 years old in Jamaica at this time.
And I think it's important, Craig, that like how you always say, they came to you. It wasn't that you went to them. Real Sociedad reached out to you first, right?
Yeah. Actually, they reached out to you, right?
Yeah, through email. I say you because technically you're the one they want to speak to. But they sent an email and said, "Hey, I want in. I want to speak to Craig and figure out something." So yeah, they did reach out to you originally on email. Yes.
Yeah. So
Mr. Butler, are these professional contracts or under 22, 21 contracts?
It would be professional contracts. So it would be players moving into those areas. Now, if they go and they play crap, they come back home.
Right.
Yeah. But with the Maltese situation, it's pretty sure because it's a corporation. With the Spanish situation, they have to make sure they perform. But I don't see Whisper Richards or Donhue Mitchell or Dante Duncan or Dante Peralto returning. They are the best that we have.
So Dante Peralto will also be making the trip to Spain, to Real Sociedad.
Yeah, he'll be making that to Spain. He went to Toronto FC. They're very interested in him, and we wanted him to come back home. He had gone for 2 weeks, and I don't want him to be out of school for more than 2 weeks. So he returned back home, doing his exams now and playing the Colts, and then we're going to send him off to Real Sociedad because we don't want to send him sign him with the first club that comes, So that's an important part of the whole idea of getting them going.
Craig, I have a question about Whisper, and it's something that we brought up on our channel when we were doing a review about a live that you did. We were questioning how is Whisper allowed to play in the courts? Is it that he was pulled from England? You pulled him because a deal is brewing behind the scenes?
Well, a very important part is loyalty, and Whisper is a very loyal player to us. He hadn't pulled his registration really at KC, so he was able to come back. He was at school in in England while he was doing his online schooling with KC at the same time, so he didn't really lose his eligibility. Um, many top players in the world have to do online schooling because of the nature of what they're doing. So it doesn't mean that he loses eligibility to play because he went online. I had 3 players from JC 2 years ago go to Malta for 3 months and they returned and they played Manico.
And Kingston College were willing and able to facilitate this situation.
Well, they would be willing. The reality is that the nature of our schoolboy situation is that it's been pretty much archaic. But now learning and realizing that this is how modern day football deals with young players of a certain ilk, a certain level. Yeah, you can't expect them to not go on trials because if they wait until they're 18, 19, 20 and then go on a trial, they would not have had any exposure and experience in those other countries with the languages, with the code, with the different systems, with the meals that don't taste like what they cook. So it's very important, very, very important that they get this opportunity to do so. And any school that denies that child that opportunity is not allowing him the development that he needs. When someone goes to school, in my opinion, because I learned a lot at Jamaica College when I went to JC. Yeah, you go for a social interaction, an academic interaction, a physical interaction, and a spiritual interaction. Yeah, and many schools that you have out there, a lot of these kids don't have that. That's why I really have to lift my hat to Nicola and Bruce Bicknell because you have many kids, for example, that go to school up in Norbrook at one of those elite private high schools, and they are sons and daughters of big business owners in Jamaica or politicians, and they will grow up and become politicians themselves and not know what halfway 3 o'clock look like. You understand? So I have to lift my hat to Bruce and Nikki, who ensured that Xander came to Phoenix, trained with Phoenix, ate what Phoenix ate, did what Phoenix did, got his opportunities, took advantage of them, and every time he's back home, he's back at Phoenix. Once a Phoenix, always a Phoenix. So it's important to do that, and it's important for these guys also to go to that next level. But there's more. We're not finished. We just didn't have, as Brandon said, we didn't have enough space in the title, Brandon.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. Yeah,
because to the point of Alexander Bicknell, right? Formerly of Champion College, if I'm not mistaken, and would have transferred to Mona High. Well, he currently at Mona High, or has he graduated from Mona High?
He's gone now. He's signed with U19 Club Fortuna Cologne in Germany.
Yeah,
he's there now. He's doing online schooling with Phoenix, with Mona still.
So he's not formally of Mona.
Fully pulled, but it's gonna be very difficult to get him to come back from a professional contract to come and play Manico football. That's not the idea. It's play the football to get the opportunity to move to the next level, not to come back ways because we need to win. That slot that will be filled, that Alexander Bicknell left, will be filled by a young player that needs to get his options. Player like Theo, or player like Shamar, or a player like Neck, to get that opportunity. But there's more because we forged a strong alliance with Andy Heron, former Costa Rican international, and we're going to be going to a club in Costa Rica with 3 of our players to test the waters there and to open up professional opportunities as a holding pen and to partner with that club in terms of what their players are that they have that I can market in Europe, and then we'll also send some of our players to play in their professional league down there to see how it goes, right? So for example, let me see what Andy's doing now. Andy, yeah, it's San Carlos in you ever heard of San Carlos in
That's the
Costa
Costa
Rica?
Rica First Division.
Yeah, they're in the Premier Division.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see if Andy's available.
And Andy's also a scouting director at Chicago Fire.
At Chicago Fire. Yeah. So it's partnerships, synergies, connections all the way. Elite Sports Management, Elite Project Group, which they're. Hey Andy.
Yes, Craig.
I sent you a link for the show. I want you to come on with the boys. You have time?
Oh, let me give me 5 minutes. I'll be home in 5 minutes.
All right, bro. See you
Just
soon.
finish practice. 5
All
minutes,
right.
okay?
Okay, Andy. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah. He speaks with a Spanish Jamaican accent. This is a cool thing, right? He cut some pattern to you with the Spanish accent. Let me give you 5 minutes. I call you back, my brother. Yeah. So.
Craig, I see a familiar face. Joey is on standby. Shall I go ahead and add Joey?
Yeah, bring in Joey. Bring in Joey for us. Their favorite guy. And bring him in.
Joey.
Joey.
Good morning, everybody.
Good
morning.
Morning.
Evening's late. Is it morning?
It's here 4 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my God!
I just received an invitation. You hear me?
But Joey, I know you, huh? I know you don't sleep, huh? I know you don't sleep. You have insomnia. You'll be up. Tell me you weren't sleeping, please. I don't feel bad.
No. I was sleeping, but you know me. I always get awake. And then I looked at my message, and then I saw this invitation. I went to the shower because I didn't take shower. I was sleeping on the bank, and then I thought, what is this? And then you told me you have a show, so. So for me, it's no problem.
I wanted
and
to
it's
make
nice for me to see you. Sorry, what did you say?
I wanted to make all the announcements together. Now, Joey,
I just want to say something. It's nice to see you all, guys, and especially the boys. My favorites. I see already a few who I always give the pana. So it's for me. It's good to see them again, especially Buster. But nice to see you all, and also you, Brandon.
Yeah, for sure, Joey. It's great.
Yes.
Well, welcome. For everybody, just so you know, Joey is what's the highest level coaching certification you have, Joey?
UEFA A.
UEFA A.
UEFA A. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's the pretty much highest level, huh?
Yeah.
Yes.
In terms of
Sure.
And your Joey is from the Netherlands, and also he coaches also in Belgium. He's coached some of the top premier clubs in Belgium. Antwerp, Joey, Westerlo, no?
Yes.
Antwerp for sure.
KV Mechelen.
Yeah.
Sint-Truiden. And FC Antwerp.
FC Antwerp, great. All right, so
yes.
And
Westerlo, of course, Westerlo, of course.
Yeah. So now I'm about to, Joey. Let me update you. Yeah.
Yes.
Taking 4 of the boys to Real Sociedad. 3 of the boys.
Real Sociedad.
Yeah, in Spain. Big.
Really?
Huh? Yeah.
Great, man.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
And you know me, when I take a plane, I take it serious. It's not And we're sending 3 of them to San Carlos in Costa Rica. Yeah.
Okay.
And we formed a new relationship with a club in Malta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That just went into the Premier League in Malta. So we'll be sending 6 players down there. So, and now,
Good.
so Joey and I are very close. Whenever I am not here, he's always here. So Joey will be coming to Jamaica to replace me when I go to to Europe,
Malta, Spain.
Malta, Spain, Europe, Costa Rica, to get these guys placed and settled. One of the things that, as you can see over there, there's a board, Joey. I still have your board up with all your
Yeah, you saved it.
yeah, didn't move
Okay,
it.
good.
Right there, huh? It's right
Yes,
there. I didn't move it. Everything is still there.
great,
Yeah. We've actually been playing that way. We've been using the three at the back, but with
great.
attacking central mid. And sometimes we've been playing with two right wingers, overloading the right side, and then switching to the left. So it's been a huge development, huge step for the boys. And I'm very excited about it.
And swinging over with the backs. The
Yes,
right wingers goes in the wingers goes inside, swinging over with the backs,
correct.
and then yes, okay, good.
So we've been doing all of that. And we're looking forward to having you. And then I am gone. And I'm going to take a little, apart from that, I have to take a little vacation with Auntie Shelly and the poor lady.
Okay,
She's so stressed. Yes,
we can switch. You come in my apartment here,
yeah, maybe I'll
Yeah,
do that. I'll take your
but
apartment.
yeah, but I don't have that big apartment like you have, So you have to get used.
Joy.
Yes,
Joy.
yes,
And in many
yeah.
smaller spaces. So believe me, I'm comfortable there.
Great, you're welcome.
So we have your Jeep ready. We have everything ready for you. Good to go. And we're going to just book the ticket now and bring you down and your wife and your beautiful little daughter. So,
Great.
Jamar,
Yeah.
is two of our media, the friends that we know. They have a show themselves that they do. And so we wanted to speak a little bit about football. Whisper is killing it, huh?
Yeah, man, coach.
Yes.
So that's definitely something that me and Rush definitely wanted to touch on. As I said about specifically the four going to Real Sociedad. We have a lot of stuff to talk about. Dujaun specifically, um, Zander, and some other stuff. Malta. So there's a lot of stuff to cover. There's a lot of information that you just unveiled, and we have a lot of stuff to ask both you
And little
and the
of
kids.
going to Costa Rica to
Concussing.
first, just to train, get a feel for over there, get a feel for their academy, and then come back because we need to prepare him for his next step. Because
I have a burning question, Craig.
if you really were to think about who our best young talent is after Whisper and them guys, is little Ted. It's him. You know? We don't have to be phenomenal. So, yeah, guys.
I have a question, Craig. You mentioned forming a relationship with a team in Malta. And, we are a channel that represent the fans that we want to know what is going on exactly. A lot of people in Jamaica won't know how good the Maltese League is or where they are ranked in FIFA among the leagues. Just walk us through how good the Maltese League is and is this a good step for the boys?
Well, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one there to hear it, let me ask you, is there sound?
Or has the tree fallen? The tree has fallen. You just didn't hear it. I believe.
All right. Now, if a player is top level and has the potential to go all the way, but he's in Jamaica, 10 hours away from Europe, and nobody's there to see him, is he a great player?
Yes, sir. I think he is.
No, he's not, because nobody don't know him. Nobody doesn't know him. Nobody hasn't heard of him. Nobody has seen him. Nobody's coming here to see him. So Malta is an island in Europe that is about 1.5, 2 hours away from Germany or Belgium. And it's right across the road from Italy. And it is also just up the road from Africa. Yeah? So what has happened is, traditionally, a lot of African players go into Malta, play in the Maltese leagues, get seen, and then move into mainland Europe. You rarely hear about the Maltese clubs because it's almost as if they're there for 6 months and they're gone, you know?
Mm.
And so many of the players that you see in Belgium, in Germany, in Spain, come from playing their first games in Malta.
And Maltese League does have European spots as well. They play in Champions League qualifying and Europa League and all that too.
Yeah,
Right, right.
yeah. So it's a great opportunity. If we can take these boys to Malta, and you have 4 of them in one club, 3 of them in another club, and they make it to the Europa qualifiers, cha-ching.
That's the step.
Yeah, that's the step, cha-ching. If they're here playing in the Premier League in Jamaica,
They might make it
love
to
my friend
USL.
Chris Willie and everything, but it's not cha-ching.
No.
Yeah, it's hope. Somebody sees you on TV.
Yeah. They might make it to USL. Might.
You might make it to USL and they'll just eventually dump you. So for me, I'm focused. I sent some players over to the US to test the waters again, just to see what the experience was there, what the difference was. Many clubs like them. They wanted to even sign a few of them, but I think I want to look into Europe first.
For sure.
Fair. And that's a way better step or a way better league than our JPL right now, or you would think a USL would be for the boys. They provide a way better stepping stone.
Absolutely. I think I don't have a problem with the USL. It has its place and its purpose. I don't have a problem with the Major League MLS. Has its place and its purpose. But we have the best raw material currently in the world, and we have been focusing. I mean, Joey and I, how long we've been friends now, Joey?
We have met each other in 2015 or 2016.
Yeah. And
Yes,
during that time, Joey has been to Jamaica about three or 4 times, Joey? Or 2 times?
No, 6 times.
6 times.
6 times,
So let's
yeah.
count.
Yeah, 6 times, yeah. I think 5 or 6 times.
6 times.
A few
Train
times
the
in
players,
2016,
develop the players.
2017.
Yeah.
I've seen the players growing up, man.
Yeah. So he has been there. He's been coaching them. So when people talk about the development at Phoenix, people don't realize it's not just Craig Butler. It's a team. It's a team. I'm just the bad guy because they all don't like me. So I'm cool with it. I just do all the mean talking. But the truth and fact is it's a whole organization, a team that works together. Great managers in Shelley and Nicola Bicknell and Eddie Layton and Whisper's dad, Odell Richards. He coaches with the team. He's the disciplinary man. We're at Phoenix. That big old hand come for your head. So we really have developed the players together, and I feel very comfortable leaving the players in Joey's hands when I'm not here. Brandon is a huge part of the organization. This whole social media thing, it's been taken to another level through Brandon. And you have to give credit where credit is due. So we're going to the next level. As you can see, we've started another project with Leon and Flo, and I'll be going over to him in England after so that I can do the necessary commercial aspects and partnerships, synergies. It's funny because everybody is making this big thing about Cavaliers player King signing with Elite Sports Management. Now, you all know Emeka, right? Jaden Sancho's manager. Yeah, we've been working with the man since before we went to Europe. Yeah, and he's the owner of Elite Project Group. So maybe some little guy down the pole, signed King to add it to their group of players that they have. But we've been working with Emeka for over 6 months now. And if I wanted, I could say all of Phoenix is signed to Emeka. You understand? But Phoenix Sports Management is ranked number 19th in the world. Number 19. Phoenix All-Star Football Academy is ranked number 1, the number 1 privately owned football academy in the world by FIFA. So a lot of people don't realize the magnitude of what that is. And they say, oh, it's Craig Butler just talking and showing off. Look at the level of coaches, of friends, of partners that we have. Yeah? Now, Joey has been here 6 times already. When Joey comes, he doesn't come for a week. Joey comes for 3 months, 4 months, 6 months. Don't Joey? Joey there?
Sure about that.
Yeah. You understand? So now.
You hear me?
Yeah?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You hear me? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
You hear me? Yes? Okay.
Yeah, I'm hearing you, Joey.
I said sure about that. That's
yeah,
what
so it's a good thing. About. We are looking.
Actually, you said to me when I come I will not leave.
Yeah, you're not gonna leave this time. You have to stay.
You remember?
Yes, you have to stay. We have to stay because we have to. You know what's funny, Joey? This new national coach that's there, Paul Hall, he's actually, I think he's watching or listening because the team started to play a little differently. They're playing more transition football. They're playing more through Leon, and they're looking a little better. You know, but let's not leave the guys out of this. Let's talk to them some more. Let me ask you, Duvi. What do you? Hey, you remember Duvi, the central defender, Joey?
I think you might have some internet problems.
Joey, do you remember Duvi, our central defender? Joey, internet moving slow. All right, let's move on. Yeah, but I'll tell you this, right? Many players, if they got the opportunity, they would be rated higher than other players. And I want to be clear for the record. I do not want to be the national coach. I do not want to be in charge of the whole. Look at some of that. Look and see. I do not want to be in charge of the program. What I don't want, though, is regression. I do not want to see we've taken these players to that level. We have a UEFA A licensed coach coaching them along with myself, along with Mr. Richards. So many people put in a whole deal of great effort into developing these players. And then to see Jamaica not utilizing these players. Who? Who?
Yeah.
Oh, they want money for food. Yeah. Yeah. But I enjoy them. You just still take money, you know.
Joey, he dropped out. I think his internet. He's getting.
Yeah.
Coach. So we can talk to them individually.
Huh?
We can talk to them individually and try get some information.
Sure. Why don't try Buster first?
All right.
So Buster is one of those going to Spain.
All right. Once again, just say your full name again for anybody in here.
Dante Duncan.
All right, Dante Duncan. You mind sharing some biometric stats like how tall are you, weight, so on and so forth, if you know that offhand?
I know.
Speak up.
I know. He's about 5'8".
Okay.
About 175 pounds. Extremely fast, 2-footed. He's a winger. You know, that's what wingers do. That's how they look. you know, right Sterling type of player.
All right, describe your game in your words, Bala, Mr. Duncan.
A lot of flair, skills, a lot of speed, everything.
Speak up a bit. Speak up a bit louder.
A lot of flair, speed, and creativity.
All right, and are you right-footed or left-footed?
Everything.
All right. Yes, that is enough about the
I'd love to ask him a question, bro.
All right, go through.
And Craig Butler can answer this, or the player can answer. What do you think makes you special, and why international teams are interested in you as a player? What is it about you, and why aren't they looking at other players?
Or is it just because of who your agent is?
Yeah. That's aimed at you.
Yeah, so what makes all right, let me reiterate Rashid's question. What makes you stand out, or why do you think you are a special footballer? Why do you think you're being looked at by overseas clubs? Or is it only because Craig Butler is a manager? That's why you're getting this opportunity.
I think it's because of my technical ability, my technical personal players.
Do you have his profile, Brandon, that we could look at it?
Yeah, I could pull it up. Let me just pull it up now. We also have Andy just joined. Do you want me to add him?
Yeah, bring in Andy.
Okay.
Yeah, man, coach. And coach, can you shed some light on why you think that he's one of the standout players that Sociedad would have been interested in?
Well, you have to understand when you go to, if you go to the Mercedes shop to buy a Mercedes and you bought one already, you tend to want to look at the factory that makes it, and you will see the same qualities in the car. Yeah. And Phoenix wingers, from Leon to Whisper to Buster to Termite, all of them have the same skill sets, the same pace, the same transition, because players don't choose their positions. I choose their positions. So when you come to Phoenix, I look at you, I evaluate you, I evaluate your body type, I evaluate your growth projection. One of the first thing I ask you is, how tall is your father, don't? How tall is your mother? Yeah? And I will end up saying, okay, well, if this guy's father is 5'8", his mother is 5'6", he's not going to grow too tall, so I'm not going to work on him being a central defender or a number 9 striker. I'm going to work on him being either an attacking mid or a winger. Yeah? And then I look at his propensity to use both feet. And then I work on using both feet. So that player who is a natural left footer becomes what position is your main position? He plays right wing. Yeah? So it's the same as Leon, the same as Whisper. The factory is the same. So when people look at our players, they like what they see. They like what's there. We also prepare properly clippings of what we do. So you see him when he's playing against Aston Villa. You see him scoring goals. You see him in Jamaica. You see what the kid can do, and we make sure we send it to them. So they see the profiles of the players, and then, yes, they say, listen, would you rather not take this opportunity when this could be another Leon Bailey, or would you rather take this opportunity? And so the clubs, especially after being able to beat clubs like Aston Villa and Crystal Palace and draw with Leverkusen and beat Genk and so on, you tend to have that much more credibility with your program. So, if a man said to you, okay, I win Premier League in Jamaica. Okay. So you won Premier League in Jamaica. But the Jamaican Premier League, we really don't care.
Yeah.
But if it's to beat Aston Villa under 23, or we draw with Leverkusen, then they say, okay, well, that's not true. Show us the tape. When they see the tape, they say, oh, no, that's different. Because we can get them here, they can play here, and then we can make a big transfer in 2-3 years' time.
Yeah.
So,
All right, coach.
yeah.
So question to you.
Sorry, Jawar, before you get there, I want to add in Andy.
Yeah, Andy.
So I'm gonna add in Andy now. Hey Andy, can you hear us?
Yes, Brandon, how are you?
Good. Pleasure to see you again. Thanks for joining. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. Just get back from off the field.
Okay, it's great. But Craig was mentioning there's a new Costa Rican partnership going on. How did that come about, and how's that going to be going?
Well, first of all, let me say hi to everyone. Jamar, Rush,
Greetings.
Craig, Ali, the Balas back there.
And Joey just joined back.
Brandon, good to see you guys. Listen, it's
Good evening, Andy.
I just who's that, Jay?
Huh?
Hey, coach. How you
Good
doing, coach?
morning, Andy.
Good morning.
I'm good. How are you?
Good
Nice
to see you, man.
Good.
Listen, it's we just touching bases with Costa Rican clubs to try to get these kids as soon as possible over there. We've been having a little delay with the visas because they need visa to go into Costa Rica, but they got all the documentation. Hopefully, we can get these guys in Costa Rica as soon as possible. I'm expect by the latest next week. Next week. I have all the confidence that once they get there, they will stay there. There's no doubt about it. So I can't wait. I know Gustavo is very excited to see Craig over there and see the guys. So it's just a matter of time.
All right, coach. And which players did you say we're headed to Costa Rica again? Can you reiterate?
The ones who are going is Theo, Isco, Mario Sims,
Yeah.
and was it Jeremiah? Oh, Michael.
Oh, let's talk to them for a bit then, now, because remember, that's going to be a big change, language and all.
Come on.
Let's see if they're prepared for that. So, Joe Mar, try to get them to tell us some of them, attributes.
All right, I will start with the youngest one that's headed to Costa Rica. What you call him, coach? Little 10?
Little Ted.
Yeah. Theo. All right. So, Bala, how does it feel going in a new environment, and how is your Spanish?
I'm not good at Spanish.
Give us two words or two sentences. Give us something.
Not all.
Not all. Come on, man. Jomar, give him something. Teach him something.
You're not going to put me on the hot spot today. So, what I will say to you is that it is important when a foreign player is in a local country and adapts quickly. It helps with team chemistry and it helps with coachability. Do you think that you will be able to adapt quickly, or do you think you will struggle with the culture shock or language barrier?
I will say I will adapt quickly.
Why?
Because here at Phoenix, there's so many coaches, so that if one is gone, the next one is there. So that if one gone, one that the one gone teaches us, it's still there with another one, even though he's adding something else with it. So it's kind of easy.
All right.
So you guys know, right? Andy has taken sessions with these boys already.
Oh yeah.
Yes. So has Joey, myself. I was unwise enough one day to have speed. Even I allowed speed to even run a session one time. It was a bit confusing for them, but we ran a session. The reality though is that we teach your players to be adaptable and all of those things. But what you should do, a good idea is to ask
Coach.
Coach Andy.
Yeah, for sure.
What was his?
There is players in San Carlos right now that are from Limon. So the Caribbean side of Costa Rica, we have a Jamaican culture. We have players from in San Carlos that I played in San Carlos that speak Jamaican. So
if I'm not mistaken, Javon East plays in that league, right?
Yes.
Top player, Javon East.
He used to play for San Carlos. Now he's playing for Santos.
All right, coach.
And Andy, if I can jump in, when you first met Theo at I think it was at the little scrimmage we had for I think that was the first time or the first time you saw him play. What was it? Because I remember distinctly your reaction when you saw him and his just skills. Like, what was your initial reaction seeing him play?
See, the thing is that he reminded me so much of myself. You know, most of those kids, especially him. I still, I'm still working and bringing Whisper to Chicago. Craig, tomorrow I'm going to have a meeting with my boss. He get back from Europe, so I'll keep you posted with that. Because I really, really want to bring Whisper to Chicago. Really working on that. And not only that, I mean, Theo remind me so much of myself, man. This kid is special. He's really special, man. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna make it. He's gonna make it far if he wants. His skills, ability, his speed, his technique, is dynamic. It movements off the ball. You don't see that too regularly in kids his age. And that's what moving soccer today, or football.
For sure.
So yeah, coach. Besides Theo, as Coach Butler would have alluded to, you've seen these players play before. You've had the chance to coach them. Can you tell the differences and similarities between how Craig Butler boys plays in comparison to, the professional clubs that you've been around? Because Chicago Fire is in the MLS. That's one of the top football leagues in the Western Hemisphere. So can you compare and contrast Craig Butler's system and how he does things to the big teams, seeing that you've had a chance to work with them?
See, the thing with Phoenix is that here in America we don't have the same material of kids. You see, he doesn't have the environment. Maybe the environment is not the greatest to coach the kids, but he got the material. He got these kids that are hungry for it. Here in America, you got to push a kid, and they're wearing $300 cleats, and they got all the best fields, and you still have to push them. You don't have to push these kids. At least when I run the session over there, I just try to push them in the idea of soccer today is just dynamic, fast-paced move. That's it. There is no time to stop the ball and think and no. It's just dynamic, pass, move, pass, move, pass, move, and they did it. They did it pretty well because they natural, man. See, Jamaican are natural athletes. If they get the proper training, they will get far, and that is what Craig has been doing with them, and I think it's very great. It's also great that he bringing us from MLS, the guy from Toronto, Seattle, myself from Chicago, to be there and to see how would these kids react if they were here. There's no doubt he's doing a great job, man.
And you spoke about Dujaun to Chicago. I know for sure that Chicago has an emphasis on youth because your guys' goalkeeper is going to be probably a U.S. men's national team captain in the future. So it's obvious that you have an emphasis on, as we Jamaicans would say, bossing the youths, giving them an opportunity. So can you speak about obviously different positions, but can you speak about the similarity with Slonina and a player like Richards in terms of their characteristics and personality and talent level, although completely opposite positions?
Slonina is he gets signed when he was 14 years old. And it is hard when you to sign a kid that young on a MLS contract. You have to be very special.
Sure.
Very special. And he was, since day one, he was just, man, the way this kid worked, the way this kid trained, you don't even see it on professional goalkeepers. So it's just that energy that he brings every time he's on the field. That's the reason why he gets signed. And he's going to be, listen, I guarantee you that he's not going to be too long in Chicago. I can guarantee you that.
And
there are teams that are already asking for him from England, Italy. So he's not gonna be in Chicago too long, man.
And for sure, the similarities between him and as you mentioned, Whisper. Do you see there are similarities between a player like Slonina and Whisper? And
Absolutely. If not, I wouldn't be mentioning anything. Absolutely, yeah. I see. Whisper need to. How you say this? I'm bugging to bringing him as soon as possible because he need to be in. I need to put him in an environment where he can, show us or show himself that he can make it there. His potential is he got so much potential. And I don't want him to go to Seattle. I don't want him to go to Toronto. No. I want him to go to Chicago. That's my goal. That's my goal with this kid.
Coach, I have a question. I'm
Yes.
not sure if you're. I'm not
Which
sure
one
if
of the coaches? 3 coaches on right now.
Yeah. They all can chip in. I'm not sure if you're familiar with.
This coach, everybody answers, yeah?
I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Jamaican players in the JPL, the Jamaican Premier League. Can you speak to the difference between a Phoenix Academy set of players and the other Jamaican players? What's the difference between them, and why are the Phoenix players the ones getting all the contracts? Why are they so special?
When the day when I was there and I see Waterhouse play Phoenix, and Craig bringing what was this kid name? He was also 14 years old. Bell.
Oh, John Bell.
But he bringing this kid, 14 years old, playing against professional players, and he got no type of fear. No, he didn't worry. He didn't look scared. He went in there and played. That's what make the difference between Phoenix players and Premier League. Sometimes coaches say, "Oh, I need experienced players," but man, Craig have the balls, and I have to say it like this, to bringing these kids into this type of games, and he see that he can do it, and he did it. I was surprised, man. I'm still in love with that kid, man. Let me tell you, Bell, and then he did a free kick that day. He make a free kick that day, and I was like, listen, if this kid scored that, I'll put him into my luggage and I'll bring him up with me. Because again, guys, look, it's the reason why I love to work in the Caribbean is because I know the talent is there, and my job is just to try to give these kids that opportunity that they need. I'm from the Caribbean side. My grandma she was Jamaican. She born in Kingston. She just moved to Costa Rica. And I know how it is. And I always say, correct this, how I know how it is to get that dream, but you never get that opportunity. There is so many talents in the Caribbean, so many talent. You mention any island, but they never get this opportunity. And to be part of Phoenix organization, that Craig can have my number, Brandon, coach, to try to help and as much as I can. I'm looking forward just for that. No doubt about it.
And follow up. You spoke about Jamaica having the raw material, but not necessarily facilities and conditions. Do you think the rest of Jamaica has that, or did you get the opportunity to see that, or you just saw Phoenix players?
Well, he saw Waterhouse. You know, one of the things that we did is the raw material. By the time the raw material reaches to say an Andy or a Joey at the premier level, that raw material is not complete. So one of the things that we do here is that we have to, for instance, Buster, Dante, Duncan, he uses his right foot just, you ask him if he's left or right foot, he says left. But he uses his right foot just as well as he uses his left. He can play in any system that we ask him to play. You know, if you look at every player that we have had here, they've come up and you ask them what position they play, and they say, well, we play every position, but this one is my favorite. If coach put me to play center forward, I can execute properly. And the skill sets that we learned in Belgium and the Dutch total football movement. You know, you hear me and Joey talking about overloading one side and the center backs and all of that. If you're not technically competent, there's no way you're going to be tactically competent. And so when you go to like Andy, and Andy takes you into a professional club and they ask you to do X, but you can't use your left foot, you have a problem. And what has happened in Jamaica is that we have so many coaches that are incompetent that go to all these local courses here, but really can't develop a player. I mean, if you look at some of the clubs that have developed players out here, Maggie was a good example. Maggie can't use his right foot. You know, at one point, Junior Fleming couldn't use his left. He had to work on it after when he's in his 20s. You know, so the reality is that here with these guys, let's ask the question: what happens if the ball is on you, guys? There's one question I'm going to ask, and I want to hear the answer. What happens if you get the ball on your left foot to shoot, and you cut it off of your left foot and put it onto your stronger right foot and shoot and score? What ends up happening? Say it louder, Marina. You hear that? Is everybody's answers, you know. Push-ups.
Did they say push-up?
Yeah.
Yeah, push-ups. So if you get the ball on your weaker foot to shoot, and you take it off and put it on your stronger foot and shoot and score, it's push-ups you have. So you're now in a game, and the game is tight, and the player breaks away, and it's on his weaker foot against good opponents. He has to be able to shoot with that weaker foot at the professional level and shoot as good as the other one, or you have a problem. Here we have done that because we have recognized and learned, and we have people like Joey, and I spent years in Europe actually learning this, the importance of it, you know. So that's the real difference between these guys and the others. These are, they all have the same raw materials, but if raw materials was enough, Usain Bolt would be playing in the Premier League for Manchester United right now. Because there's no better raw material than Usain Bolt.
I think we talked about this the other day, Craig. It's sad because I play with Damani Rolfe, I play with Andy Williams, Shavar Thomas, and every time I got a chance to say this, I always say it. It is so sad to see Jamaican national teams never develop. Started from the U15 all the way up, never develop. So you say, how can Jamaica cannot be a strong national team from the youth age till the top? if they have the material.
Yeah.
Can you repeat what you just said? Because you broke up a little bit, Andy.
I said that I always, every time I play with Damani Rolfe and Andy Williams and Shabar Thomas. And when I was in Jamaica, the last time I was there with Craig when Jamaica played Costa Rica, it's sad to see that Jamaican national teams from the under 15 all the way up, they never succeed. And then you plan the question, why is the reason that having all this talent, why can't Jamaica be one of the strongest young talent youth programs? Why? The problem is not the players. The problem is not the players, because you got the material. If I tell you to build a house and I give you all the material, all you got to do is build a house. But you don't know to build a house.
You need a good engineer.
Yeah.
That's where the problem is. See what I'm saying? So you have everything to build.
Yeah.
But the builders, those that Craig mentioned before, the coaches, the people who doesn't know how to develop, it's what have Jamaica youth program stuck.
Yeah. And then and on top of that, Andy, what Craig always preaches is about the system. So it's kind of like, to your analogy, like the blueprint, right? You need to follow, the specific blueprint, or all the builders need to follow this same blueprint to build the house. Where if all of them are using different blueprints, the house is going to be shaky. It's going to fall apart.
Yeah. There's not. It have to be They have to be an idea, an identity of playing style. Mm-hmm. That way it can match all the teams from the bottom all the way up. Every team in Europe do that. You mentioned it. Manchester City, Manchester United, Barcelona, all those clubs having a style of play, have a tactic formation and a style of play that they never change. And it's so sad to see that from the U15, under 15s, mentioned all the way up from Jamaica, nothing happened, man.
Hey,
it's
Andy,
sad. And you guys have everything.
Yeah.
Andy, let me ask a question. In your experience, Joey as well, if Joey is there. Joey, you there?
Joey's having a little bit of technical issues, so he's kind of,
Well, let me ask you, Andy. The coaches that coach in the MLS, and Joey, since you're here, can you hear me, Joey? Joey?
It's been very unreliable.
No, okay. The coaches that coach, for example, in the MLS, are those same coaches able to hold positions in the governing body of football in the US, the US, what do you call the US Federation? So say, for example, I am an owner of an MLS club. Can I also, at the same time, be the head of the head of the
federation
committee of the federation that chooses coaches? No,
you can't. Not in MLS. If you own a club, you own that club. The I know where you're going. It's the same thing in Costa Rica. Listen, it's the same thing in Costa Rica, and all this that called favoritism, and that just messed up the system of the game, and it messed up who you should really choose to come to the national team. Because then I have favoritism. If you own an MLS team and you part of the US Federation, the system is corrupted right there.
Yeah.
Don't call it business, because it's not a business. It's just corrupted. That's it. That's the word. And it's similar to Costa Rica. The president from one club it's have part with the federation.
Let me ask
3,
you a question. Joey, can you hear me now? Joey's still out. Yeah. Let me ask a question. If, for example, FIFA was to get wind of this, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
You hear me, Andy?
Yes.
Yeah, Craig, we can hear you. No, Craig, we can hear you.
You can hear me? Andy?
Yeah.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
If FIFA was to get wind of a person who owns a club being in charge of the technical committee of the football federation, would that not be a conflict of interest under FIFA rules as it relates to conflict of interest?
Absolutely.
Couldn't the country get that?
Absolutely. It is conflict of interest. You see, Craig, look, okay. Let me give you guys this point of view. It's happening right now in Costa Rica. Herediano from Costa Rica have 7 players in the national team. I'm the president from the club, and I also work for the federation. What is the benefit I get by having 7 players in the national team?
Exactly.
You know how much money coming in from me if those 7 players go to the World Cup?
Yeah.
Exactly.
So everything becomes that business. So everybody want to be part of the federation just so I can have more players from my team. That way money can come in to my team at the end if Costa Rica make it to the national team. So
and they also get the caps so that they can also qualify for work permits in places like England or for example, if I'm taking these boys to Spain and the club I'm taking them to in Spain says, okay, how many times have they played for the national team? I say, oh, they have never played. They say, oh, well, maybe are they not good enough to make the national team? Ah.
Yep. All that works. All that works like that.
So
unfortunately.
Corruption and corruption.
Yeah, because
we've been fighting hard, Andy. We've been fighting hard because it's affecting. That's the main reason why our football has not evolved. Why we have not gone to the next level, because the best players aren't playing.
Right. Unfortunately, there's people not thinking about the future of the kids. They're only thinking about their pocket, their bank account. And there is so many kids that are willing to be part of the U15 national team. I think there were, why they don't call players from Phoenix to be part of the U15 national team if Teo can play there easy, for example. Whisper can play easy on the under 20, easy. No question about it, man. He can play under 20. No question about it.
Yeah.
Jade can play under 20.
And Mario.
No question. Exactly, Mario. No question about it. Then listen,
coach. I always say that Leon Bailey not representing the national team at any level until 22 is probably the biggest travesty in world football history, in my opinion. That is unprecedented. I've never heard anything like it. Playing professionally at the age of 17 years old. If I'm not correct me, Coach Butler. Playing professionally from the early age of 17 years old, which is as compared to everybody else who is playing under 17 that year, who was playing in high school. Some of them not even playing in the JPL. That attempted to qualify Jamaica for that under 17 World Cup, which we weren't successful that year. Most of the players in his age group, everybody in his age group was affiliated to the high school. He was playing professionally at that age. And he was not called up to the under 17 team, nor under 20 team, and he's never played in the under 23s for us in Olympic qualifiers. And him started playing for Jamaica at 22, I think, or 23, I'm not sure. That is a travesty. It's something that is mind-blowing.
Right.
But they're doing it. But here's how now. They're not just doing it with Leon Bailey now. They're doing it with Whisper. They're doing it with Donhue Mitchell. They're doing it with Dante Peralto. They're doing it with Dante Duncan, Michael Graham, the whole of them. You understand? So it's not a situation where they listen. Michael played for JC. He's the left back of JC, you know, the Money Company. He's a top player.
Yeah.
Andy, you remember Duvi, central defender?
Yeah.
Now, weren't you one of those that were saying you wanted him to come to Chicago too?
Yeah. Of course.
You don't think he could play in the under 20?
If it would have been me, 12 of these kids will be with Chicago. If it would have been by me, I'll bring all of. If that would have been my decision at the end, I would have 12 of those kids under my academy in Chicago, with Chicago Fire. 12. Well, why? Because it's sad, man, to see that you're not giving these kids the opportunity to be part of the national team. I mean, why is the reason why these kids cannot be in the national team?
Exactly.
Why? Who coached in the under 15s? I remember I texted the president from the federation from Jamaica. Till today, I cannot get a response from him. It's like I text him so we can help. I'm coming to Chicago, from Chicago, MLS coach, to see if they have any talent that they want to identify. The guy didn't even text me back. So whatever. So I just, there's Craig. All right. See, look, we try to find ways that we can help each other, but some people just don't. I guess they know what they're doing. And then when you see the results, you can see that they don't know what they're doing.
For sure.
And it's just simple as that, man. Look, the national team, Craig, I was there with you watching Costa Rica and Jamaica national team. Bro, with all this player that Jamaica have,
Sure.
listen, man. I got a friggin' Jamaican culture here in Fort Lauderdale. Craig knows that there's a huge culture here, Jamaicans. And you guys, the way you guys live, the passion of the game is ridiculous. But to see Jamaica national team with all these top players, bro, that not even Costa Rica have those top players playing in Europe and stuff. Not even us. And to see them play the way they do, come on, man. It's sad. It's sad, man. It's really sad. Jamaica should be one of the top, bro, from the under 20s, 15s go up. Top teams, man.
Yeah.
Top. But the problem is above. Somebody's not thinking properly.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're thinking too properly.
Exactly.
Maybe they're thinking too. Maybe they have a bigger plan than you and I can see.
There's no plan, man. If the results are not there, there's no plan, Craig. I'm sorry. That's just like that. Soccer pay you. It pay you off. It pay off. Soccer pay off. If you don't make it to the World Cup, if you win one game, what? Come on. No, it's bad. It's just bad. If none of your 15s, under 15s, under 20s, under 17s qualify to a World Cup, it's bad. So there is no question about it.
Yeah.
All right, Coach.
Hey,
Right,
comment here. Peter Marshall, Tyrone's brother, a better coach than more than half the coaches in Jamaica. The All Sports Jamaica made that comment. Just want you to know that I was Peter and Tyrone's first coach at Peter and Paul Prep. So I feel good about that. We've been doing that for a long time, bro.
Hey, Craig, I We got military Gunner here waiting to come in. Oh, he just dropped off.
Bring him in. Bring him in.
As soon as he comes back, I'll put him on. He just dropped off.
All right.
Coach,
Now,
one
one
more
more
to
thing.
the
Just walked into the room. We need to give the killer a big hand. Come up in the middle because give a big hand today. Big hand. You can give a big hand. Stand up, man, and take a bow, my friend. Come up here, sir. Don't be shy. Stay right in the middle. Come up beside Michael.
Coach, you see the captain of your team?
Yeah, he's the captain of Mona High. And he put on a piece of performance today. The killer. Piece of performance. Top defending. We all central defenders, we always have attacking center halves. He was in the box going for headers. Starting the play, breaking up plays, leading the team. At one point, we're leading George's by St. George's College, who Andy is supposed to be one of the top schools in Jamaica. Yeah. And Mona High, who Dante plays for and I coach, was leading him by 5 goals to 1 at one point. We stepped off the pedal and just eased down.
We can ask him some questions, Coach.
5-3. Okay?
We can ask Dante some questions. Because Dante is somebody that I really want to speak to.
Go ahead. Killer. Ask him why I got the name Killer though.
All right, start with that. Start with that, and then we will proceed with our questions. Because me and Rush have been wanting to talk to you for a while.
All right, so the reason why I believe I got that nickname is because the way how I was when I was coming up, was very helpful and everything, and I was improving rapidly. And I was also improving rapidly when I was playing football as well, going to train every single day, not missing a single day, and I've been also playing in the matches a lot.
That's why I got the name.
And just I've also been performing.
You think so? Yeah. He was a little softy when he was younger. He was a little soft mama's boy.
This is the story that
he's still that way. He still comes out
every
night before he goes to bed. Every night, he was a big hug and kiss good night. And he always.
We're not gonna allow you for missing the man's street cred, Coach.
He takes.
We're talking about football, right?
He cooks every night for the boys, believe it or not. He loves to cook, and he is a real leader. But that softness and gentleness gradually faded away into a real leader, hard as nails, tough, hard tackling, strong. I remember when Andy and those guys came down on the first day of the combine. The goalkeeper, I think, fell on Dante's knee. And Jordy, who is one of the agents, is also a doctor, and he looked at it, he's like, he's going to be out for a while. By the next day, Dante was back playing with that knee, going all the way through. And so he went from being dip to killer dip. So when he make the tackle and everything, we're very proud of him, as you can tell. You know, I have images with Dante at Ajax at 5 years old when Leon and Kyle and Sharky went on trial with Edwin van der Sar and Marco Omars. And he was just little and he was just always there. If you look in the pictures, you just see him in a little corner somewhere throughout the whole development of Leon. And he was grasping all of that and developed his own style. He became like a left back that was strong, that could go forward, that can play center forward, and play central defender. So that's how he got the name Killer Dip.
I have a question. How old is he?
Ask him, no? Ask him.
Yeah, 16. I must say, the first time I saw him play, I think it was a Manning Cup match, Joe Mar. We were watching the Manning Cup match on TV. And I saw his face. I was like, that's a kid. And then I saw him play. And I asked Joe Mar, who is this guy? This is a big man. The maturity that he plays with and how versatile he is. The way he slots into the back when he needs to. Walk me through that. What makes you a versatile player?
Just being a coachable player. I listen to my coaches a lot and they just tell me what to do. I just follow the directive that they give.
All right.
I want some aspirations from some of the boys. So you can go around the table. I want to know, because I know what you want for them in a coach. I know you want them to achieve the highest heights in football. What are your aspirations?
My aspirations is to be playing at the highest level in football, and I really hope I can achieve it one day as well.
What do you consider the highest level of football? Just to pick your brain.
Like the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga, and the list goes on to like top teams in like one of the top 5 leagues in the world.
All right, that's a perfect segue. Apparently, Coach Butler very recently broke the news that you will be heading somewhere soon. Can you speak more on that?
Can you please repeat that again?
Coach Butler just broke some news that you, along with a few of your other teammates, will be heading somewhere very soon. Can you speak more on that?
I can a little bit, and that would be we'll be going to Europe. I'm not gonna say the club because I don't know if I'm allowed to say that to whatever.
You can say it. I said it already.
Oh well, we're going to Real Sociedad, and I'm really excited to go. I believe that we do well when we go. We're very strong players, and they'll if they can put their mind to it, then they'll make it, and I believe we can.
And for the people who don't know you, can you speak about you as a footballer first and foremost, and then after that, I want you to speak about your current season, because we know that you've played in the Manning Cup, even though you've been a 16-year-old playing in the Manning Cup, a start and one of the leaders of the team. So I want you to walk me through your footballing acumen. You as a football player. Tell us about yourself as a footballer. Dante,
All right. Well, me as a footballer, when I was younger, I wasn't really that serious. I probably started to get serious like when I turned 12, and then I went to Cayman, which is one of the trips I've been on. And when I went to Cayman, then I was on the bench. I didn't really get a lot of games and all that. And then when I came back, I was working harder and all that. And then the trip after that, we went to Belgium. When I went to Belgium, I played very well. Didn't concede a lot of goals. And the only match we lost was against Leverkusen, which was 7-4. And then after Leverkusen, then Spain was before Cayman.
Yeah. Well, go on.
So then after Belgium, then it came back around October where there was the schoolboy football competition coming up to play Pepsi. And I played Pepsi for Georgia as well. And then I scored in the semi-finals against Casey and in the finals to win it against Woolmouth as well for the first time in 17 years.
What position were you playing at that time?
Yeah, because that's quite a CV.
Centre forward.
And you're a left back.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to make a point.
Tell the story.
They're like
give him a props too.
I was there playing for Georges at the time. They said I wasn't a good enough centre back. I can't play centre back and all. I can't play the ball, not technical enough.
And then you want to be a defender though, or were you just put to play defense, or do you like genuinely want to be a defender?
I mean, I want to play defense. I like playing there.
Oh.
And then, like, we were in the quarterfinals, and then we were playing against Mona, and we were down 1-0. And then after that, then Coach Craig Leaf came down and told Coach to put me on at striker. And then he turned around and asked if I could play striker. And then he said, yeah. I went on and played striker.
So Phoenix players can play everywhere.
And then I came on, we got the free kick, and over for the winger, and then the winger scored after that. And then we came back to 1-1. And then next match was against JC, which we won 3-2. And then the match after, we played in St. Catherine, and I came off. After that, we played in the semi-finals against KC. And then the match finished 2-0. I scored the last goal to seal off the match. And then we also
poor Whisper.
And then that was also against Dujaun Richards' Whisper, which is another person also coming to Spain with us. And then I played in the finals against Giovanni Bell, which is the 14-year-old that played against Waterhouse.
Press your tentacles far and wide, Craig. That's what's apparent from this story.
Yeah.
I scored the only goal, and then after that, then I went back to Phoenix after the season was finished, and I kept on training. COVID hit, and then I went to Germany for about a year, and then I was there playing there in Germany at Bonner SC. And then I came back here, and then I started training with Phoenix again. and then I went to Mona and played Manning Cup, and now I'm here playing Colts, and I'm ready to go back again to the Euro.
Non-stop.
Today's full circle because you started off that story saying how you beat Mona playing for Georges. So today's full circle, I guess. What position did you play today? What position do you play for the under-16 team? Because at Manning Cup, you would have been one of the leaders in this team, but I can imagine that at this level, you are the undisputed leader of the team, which is why you're the captain in German. Which position did you play, or do you play for this under-16 team? And tell me how you play.
So then today, I was playing centre back, and then I also went up striker for like about 5. And then after I was put back down to centre back for the rest of the match. And
what kind of centre back you play though? How it happens when you get the ball?
When I get the ball, I'm supposed to play the ball forward and then run past everyone and get to the box and then try to score a chance from there.
And well, as I said, that's quite dynamic and unorthodox, especially compared to Jamaican standards. How do you feel being thrusted into a position where even though you are a central defender, you have to inherit roles of more than one position? Like, is that okay for you? Is that something that you look forward to doing, or is it something that you think might affect the football of the team? Don't lie because the coach is right there. What do you think about that situation?
Well, to me, I actually think it's a positive because it provides an extra number in the box and also when you're attacking. And when that happens, you also have to make sure that something good comes from it. So like a corner, a goal, or whatever. And while you're up there, you also kind of have to stop the play. If nothing happens from you, also have to stop the play so you can get back in. And then you also have other players depending on you from behind to make sure that something good comes from it.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't that make you liable at the back though?
Excuse me?
Doesn't having overlapping centre backs or underlapping centre backs leave you vulnerable at the back?
To me, I think it's actually a good thing though, like overall, because the number, you just have an extra number going up.
Can I help to answer that question?
Yeah, man, coach, talk to us about that because you spoke. I heard Duve mentioned attacking centre back, and we didn't get a chance to delve into it. Now is the time, seeing that we have this opportunity.
All right. The world is now one of the biggest positions that people pay a lot of money for is the 6, the holding midfielder. Yeah.
In my
so
opinion,
part of its development is to be able to cover that central defender and protect the back line. So we have very competent. If we didn't have another competent the other centre half in this team is a kid by the name of Portion, a Carlton Brown, who also played Manning Cup. That's the other centre half in the Manning Cup. So if one goes, we have him plus another young Colts player that is 6 foot now, Marlon, about 6 foot, yeah, and very strong. Plus we have the holding midfielder. So we have a whole transition game, and then we press high up the pitch with the whole team doing a quadratic press, which is in each quarter of the pitch. So you having the ball as a Georges player today, you have 4 people pressuring you. 1 cutting off the back pass to the goalkeeper, 1 coming from the wing, 1 coming from the attacking midfield position, and 1 coming from inside the second centre forward. So the centre half that came up. So the game, you're either going to have to kick the ball out long or we're going to take the ball from you. You're not going to build out to the back. And that is an advantage that we have as Jamaicans because we're strong and fast. Yeah? So once we use that, we're good to go. And that's something that I actually saw in with the Dutch national team, and also the Belgian national team uses it too. So that's what.
But can I make a remark? Can I make a remark?
Sure. Before Joey, I just want to add in one person who's been waiting. So Military Gunner TV. So I just want to add him, have an intro, and Joey is back now. So it looks like everything's solved there. So I'm going to go ahead and add Military Gunner TV. I'm going to add him now. It's going to get. Okay. I'm going to. It's actually a maximum of 6 people. It looks like. So I'm going to drop off myself, Craig, but I'll be watching, and then I'm going to add in Military Gunner to.
Well, I can leave Brandon if you guys want.
Joey to leave.
No.
I don't want Joey to leave. Wait, you guys are in the same place, you two?
Oh no, we're at different places right now.
Oh, okay. Because if you're at the same place, then we could use. But it's okay. All right. If you can drop off yourself and then come back, Brandon. How
Yeah,
about
we'll
that?
do that. Yeah, and if anyone else needs to go, just go ahead and say that, and I'll be behind the scenes to work
What
out.
I'd
So I'm
like
gonna go ahead.
military Guna, if he comes on, to have a little bit of access to Andy before Andy goes, in case he might have a question or two.
Yeah.
Okay. So here it is.
Oh, good night, Jenks. Good night, Andy, Aaron, Rush, Jomar, Joey, top Jap tongue.
Military Gunner.
Good night, Mr. Butler, and I
Good
can
night.
see you have the entire academy with you tonight.
Not the entire academy, it's about 2%. But
you bring out the big guns then.
Some of the big ones. That's all.
Yeah, I was listening to the conversations. Quite entertaining. Love the questions that Jomar and Rush was bringing as well. I didn't came on earlier because I was doing the JPL show. I know a lot of people already watch JPL show. People are beating me. Why am I forcing the issue? But I got to do what I got to do. I have to play my part in making Jamaica football great, if I can.
Okay. Yeah, so welcome. Guys, Military Guna also has this show that he does. It's a pretty popular one. And so we have Joey Yapchong. Joey is a UEFA A coach who has been to Jamaica 6 times already. Is a really big part of our coaching and our development, and a very close friend of mine. We met years ago when his son was playing for Genk on the same team as Kyle, in the under 16s, I believe, or under 17s. And they moved all the way through to the U21s. And we have Andy Heron, who is one of the top scouts at Chicago Fire, and one of the scouting directors. And he owns Heron's Academy. He's also a former national team player out of Costa Rica, a professional player. We have our 2 friends here now, Javon and remind me the name again, my poor brain, old. Jovan and anyway, forgive me. And we have the team here. Most of the players.
Jomar Rush, man.
Jomar.
Yeah. Jomar and Rush. And we made an announcement earlier. We have 4 players going to Spain in Real Sociedad. We have 3 players going to Costa Rica, San.
When did it be possible for me to get their names?
They're here. You can say hi.
Blessings this evening, gentlemen. Soon to be future stars. I have the opportunity now to speak to you guys. I know in the next few years I can't say anything to you guys because at that point in time you'll be superstars. And
no. What is one of the most important qualities in Phoenix? To be what? Humble and loyal. So
big facts. That Sports TV got to speak to Leon Bailey, you know? So
yeah. And it's good. Now I'll tell young people that anywhere you want to go in life, there's 3 things you need. 3 things. There are 3 things. Consistency. That it's my ideal, so I might be wrong. Consistency. You have to be humble and never give up. Those 3 things, I think. I always preach on those 3 things. But the number one is actually God will carry you through. But those 3 things are what you have in your control. The other one, God has that in control. Consistency, be humble, and never give up.
Faith is key.
Yes.
Faith and loyalty. You could be consistent and as humble as you want, but if you have loyalty and you don't have faith and belief in yourself,
yes,
you're going nowhere. And that faith is key. Because you have so many players that they jump ship because they say, I bet the grass look green over there. You know, and they jump ship.
That is true.
Only to realize they jump ship and swap. In Jamaica, they were saying swap black dog for monkey. You ever heard that saying that?
Yeah. Grass green up on the next side, yeah.
Yeah, grass green on the next side. You sell out and get worse, you know. And
that is true.
one of the things with us at Phoenix, is loyalty, and that loyalty goes both ways. I'm loyal to Joey, and then I tight now loyal to Andy. You understand? Even you guys, once I build a relationship with you, I'm gonna remain loyal to you until you shaft me. But once you shaft me, that's it. Only once, you know.
Yeah.
And,
Objective journalism, coach. That's it. That's all it is.
Hey,
just non-biased journalism. Nothing more, nothing less.
No, exactly. But if you're non-biased, you're not going to say a Dujaun Richards is not good. You're not going to say a Dante Peralto that just reel off him resume to you is not good. You're not going to say Theo is not good, or Michael is not good, or any of these players that have achieved so much. If you can, Brandon, I know you're watching the show. Can you put up that video of Buster for me? Because people don't realize all our players have profiles up on YouTube, you know, and it's important that people see them, because when you see it, because they're saying, you know, people don't know this, but I'm a very religious guy, you know. They say, blessed is he who sees and believes, but more blessed is he that does not see and believe. You understand? So most people are doubting Thomases. They have to see the player or see the profile. And that has hurt us in the past so much, because we had players like Kemar Reed and Kyle Butler and Leon Bailey and Kevin Atkinson. And because those who were in charge of the JFF were able to not have videos of them up on YouTube where you could see them, we don't see them, so we don't know anything about them.
No.
You know?
Okay, I understood.
Here's Buster. Can we hear it? Brandon, how am I hearing? Let's watch Buster a little bit. His technique. Brandon, we're not getting any sound.
He can go in, there's a button on the left hand side that said share with audio.
Share with audio, Brandon.
Yeah.
Big, but because they're all fast. We have some clubs that are coming to look at you. Yeah.
My attributes are speed, skill, and vision. I'm a very skillful winger. What I can bring to the team, I can score a lot of goals.
Good to hear those things about you. So tell me, what's your nickname?
Buster.
Okay. What are your greatest assets as a player?
My greatest assets are speed, skills, and shooting.
Yeah. Are you the fastest player at Phoenix?
Yes, I'm the fastest player at Phoenix right now.
Okay, I'm sure the rest of them are going to tell me the same thing, but because they're all fast. We have that are coming to look at you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What would you say if you were to ask if you're left-footed or right-footed? Which one would it be, or would it be both? Why?
Because at Phoenix we train, we were developed to use both.
So how long have you been at Phoenix?
9 years.
9 years. And you're how old now? Mm-hmm. So how long have you been here? Since what? 10 years old. All right. Listen, I believe he can make it. I believe he'll be an asset to any club that he goes to. He's in the vein of Leon Bailey, very similar type player. Fast, explosive, creative, and can make quick decisions in tight spaces and get a lot of goals. Yeah, powerful left and right foot. And he can curl from cutting from the inside, from the outside with the right, cutting from the outside with the left, and shoot. So these are the qualities that we're looking for in a player so that he can add more dimension to whichever team that he goes to. Dante, good luck. Well done.
This is in England now. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
when a player is 2-footed, he can cut in and cut out. Quickly.
So now you get to the point where you say, how the heck Dante's not in the national team under 20s? With only 10 seconds, 15 seconds of this video, you can make a decision. You don't need to see all the whole of that video. It's incredible. It's just ridiculous, man.
100% agree. For sure.
You're looking at a kid playing in different type of environment, same intensity, same, he doesn't feel, he's not complaining about the environment. He just playing. Like, it's just, man, it's crazy.
And thank you, Brandon and the team, for putting this together, because I can't do it. Appreciate it. You big up Brandon every time, because without this, the world wouldn't know how good this kid is.
Mm-hmm. How old is Dante?
19 now. I think tomorrow we can't stop. It look like it's a free.
Yeah, man. We've seen a lot.
Can't go and see it when you. Yeah?
It's a highlight, obviously, but I've seen enough.
It's just, guys, it's just what it's just military. Pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, pleasure to meet you.
It's just what I was telling the guys before. It's that how a kid like this, not in the national team.
The youth programs. Yeah.
The youth program. How? What can you guys do to get the attention from the coaches to this? If we in America right now, and I just Brandon, can you email me that, please? I mean, come on, man. You got to be serious. You guys, I mean, whoever is managing Jamaica on the youth program need to get serious, man. A player like that.
Yeah, some aspect that I see from his game that I really like, the mere fact that he's both-footed, because if which foot does he use? What is his natural foot? Which of his feet is natural foot?
Well, he's left-footed, but he's been using both since he was small, because all of it from the.
So some key things. I was speaking with this coach from Peru, and he said that there's some key factors that they look for when you're looking for players. His balance, his ability to move left or right in a diagonal pattern as quickly as possible. He has that. And as you mentioned in regards to the environment doesn't really matter because of his technical ability. That's the reason why the environment don't matter. When you have that level of technical ability, it doesn't matter where you're playing. The better the surface, the better.
You know these guys are doing behind me right now? They're doing push-ups. Come on, come on, focus. Yeah, sorry guys.
Yeah, so that's actually he has some very, very good attributes. I'm telling you, some really good attributes, and I've seen it. I've spoken to one of the players from overseas that came to represent us to partake in a training session. And I asked him a particular question. I was speaking to Joe Mar about this as well, in regards to what's the difference with the players that he came here and saw versus the players that he's playing with in the MLS at his age group. And he said that actually most of the players that he came here and see actually are better than some of those players. It's just that there's one major difference, and that's resource. There's the things that they take for granted over there. They don't really have it here. like it's an essence of everyone has their own water bottle. Just as simple as something as simple as that. He said that they take that as a disadvantage over there, but it's a big issue here. So he said that when you look at these players, you come and see these players have an extra drive, they have a fire in their eyes, they are hungry for success. And I look at those things and I'm like, what is our real problem? If the talent is here, and I have recently doing some investigation, and I met up on another academy as well. I think their name is Ballers Academy, and I'm looking at some of their players and I'm like, why we have so much young talented players specifically in Jamaica, but yet still it seems as if our football is stuck at one level. Our football is stuck at one level, and we have so much talent in Jamaica. Now, we have a deep-rooted issue. We have a deep-rooted issue around football and the politics of football. Now, there are people who can change it. There are people who can change these issues. But because these issues, I personally believe that these issues are beneficial to pockets. It's so difficult to fix because you're going to stop what I can do or what I can get. So
absolutely.
So because it's not a case in which you change one person and everything is fixed. It's not that case.
No,
it's a whole systematical issue.
Exactly.
So if someone should come in a different particular position.
But tell me what the systematical problem is.
I think
I want to know that you understand.
I think it has to do with how we approach football in Jamaica. In regards to, for example, when I was I'm playing football in my community. I'm playing football in my community. The particular person on the football team who has the most money or contributed most to the team, more than likely has to be in that team. So, as small as that issue is in the community, it stems straight up onto the top hierarchical structure of the football in the country. So, say that to say this. The reason why I alluded to that is when the entire system is situated to make money and everyone benefit of making money and not the good aspect of what football can do, that is where I see the big problem is. It's about the system making money moreover than the system progressing in the footballing aspect. So no. it's a JFF issue. It's a JFF issue, not just only the individual in JFF. It's just all this, the organization was built and the type of mentality the organization was built on.
Well, let me share this with you. The problem comes from not just what they are, but how they got there. Right? Now, you're in a different federation, so I want you to think about this and tell me from a FIFA perspective what you think if they actually got wind of this, how they would view it. In order to become president of a parish association, of which there are 13, Kingston and St. Andrew gets 2 posts. So there are 14 parish associations. Yeah? In order to become the president of one of those parish associations, you would have had to be an executive of one of the clubs that play in that parish. Right? Now, if you then to become an executive of the GFF, you are voted on by those parish associations. So, the person who is a president of a football club in Jamaica, be it a Rudolph Speed or what's the other one that they banned me one time? Stuart Stevenson, yeah. They are members. One was member of Mona FC, and the other was from Cavaliers FC, right? Rudolph Speed started Cavaliers back after it had died down, and he is the owner of Cavaliers. Yeah? Now, they then voted Rudolph Speed to be president of the CASAFA. Yeah? And from there, the president, he became the treasurer at one point of the JFF, and then he became the now chief of the technical committee, head of technical committee. And that technical committee's job is to select coaches and to set the policy for football. Select coaches. Think about that, right? Now, clubs in Jamaica do not make money from the gate. They do not make any substantial money from sponsorship. So the only way that they can make substantial money is to develop and sell a player, right? The problem that you have with all of that is twofold. The first one is that they had a recruitment system in place over all of these years versus a developmental system. What do I mean by that? You have small clubs like Pembroke Hall or Raytown or Duane Park, yeah? And they have kids training and playing over there every day, raw talent. And you have a little coach over there, he don't make no money, probably riding bicycle to training, and him go over and him train the youth them, right? They play a game in the community against, I like to use Harborview, but it's so unfair to them to just keep using Harborview because Harborview is one of the bigger clubs. But say it was Cavaliers. They play against Cavaliers, and Cavaliers have a little man named Maxwell that he calls himself a recruiter. Now he's recruiting little kids. He goes to the Pembroke Hall guy and says, listen, I want that player. Whatever, we can give you some money. Get him man at $30,000 or at $20,000. And for your information, that's less than $100, right? Or maybe $100 or something.
Wow.
$200. And because of that, the guy doesn't have a lot of money, so the guy gives up his best talent. The other thing is, if he doesn't give up that talent, remember, those clubs are also at the head of the parish associations, and they're the head of the JFF. So they can make decisions that can crush your little club. So you better just do what them say or else. Then they walk into Andy, Craig Butler, and Phoenix, who did it not for the money. I did it to get these kids that I was adopting a way of life, a better way of life through the use of football. Because I remember, you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, you teach him how to fish, you feed him for life. So when I started adopting all of these kids after my son was taken and hidden for years, I needed something to give them that they could survive. And football was that I had. I didn't have any money. So when they would come and at one point, the best young players in Jamaica, listen to the names, were Jason Wright, he was the top player at Woolmans. Romario Williams, top player at KC, right? Kevin Atkinson, top player at Calabar, they call him Wild Shark. Dominic James, top player at JC in the age group. Kyle Butler, top player at St. George's College. Andre Wilson, captain at Calabar. Sean Laws, top player at Norman Manley, right? So all of those young players were the best out there at the time. So they started to recruit them. But because I had implemented from early the loyalty factor and the love for one another and what we wanted to achieve to develop into professional players and to do it the right way, none of the players would leave. So the next thing is, if the players won't leave, we have to get rid of Butler. So they ban me and throw me out. But they said you can't participate in football-related activities. The boys lived with me. So we would just go and act like we're playing for a club, use their name, and I would go in the stands. And Andy, that's why my voice is so powerful. Because I would shout instructions from the top of the stands in games to them, and the boys would still execute it. What it made them stronger, it made them more leaders, it made them able to execute directives from, I can tell Leon Bailey what I need to do. Today in Aston Villa to beat this player, and he will say, okay, coach, no problem, I'll use it. Good, thank you. Yeah? And what ended up happening was, with this whole organizational structure, in order for them to make money, the only way they could make money was to sell a player. They recruited the player. Players would normally go. Craig Butler wouldn't give up his players. So they tried to get rid of Craig Butler. Those who they could frighten the parents, they would take the kid. Dominic James, frightening parents and take him. God rest his soul. I still cry about that kid every day. Every day I think about him. Because Dominic would have been one of the 3 that went to Europe. Anyway, continuing. Romario Williams, immediately from him leave us, he went into the national team. Jason Wright, his father would make him play for Cavaliers and train a whole year with us. But season come, he might have to play for Cavaliers. Jason Wright was in the national under-17. Yeah? Sean Laws, the minute he left us, he was captain of the national under-17. Right? And that's how it goes. Right? Now, at the end of the day, I wouldn't play that game. And some of the other boys, like Leon and Kyle and Kevon, wouldn't play. They wouldn't leave. So that's how you had the technical director of the JFF, who was also the technical director of Harborview Football Club, coming on national radio and saying Leon Bailey is an ordinary player. Yeah? And saying, oh, Leon and Kyle dribble too much. They didn't lose a ball in the one training session they went to. Leon scored 5 goals, Kyle scored 3, but they dribbled too much. Yeah? The Phoenix players are no good. But now, because we now have someone like Brandon, who's a godsend, to be honest with you, that is videotaping, compiling, we're using technology, some of the best camera equipment, actually the best camera equipment available for academies. We use the same camera equipment Aston Villa uses. And we are zoning in, we're getting the touches, we're getting everything on the players, and we're putting it out there. So when they say, oh, Dante Duncan is an ordinary, he's not so good, or he's nothing special. There's the coach, the scout from Chicago Fire, saying, hey, send it to me immediately because this kid is good. You know? Real Sociedad are seeing the players and they say, wow. And we are growing exponentially outside of Jamaica, while Speed and his friends are running around a huge pink elephant in the middle of the room and acting like they don't exist. Mainly players like Dujaun Richards, Donhue Mitchell, Duncan, Dante Peralto. The goalkeeper. Have you ever seen a goalkeeper at Mona High? Hakeem Bernard, 16 years old, 6 foot tall, massive. Don't you think that they, in the best interest of the country, they should be looking out for those players? Here's what's going to happen. I can tell you right now, and I will bring them on the show, there are countries out there that are willing to help these kids to move to their country and get passports from that country and eventually play for that country without the foolishness. The foolishness. So you say all this fight we're fighting, all this time and investment, we have coaches like Joey Apchong. You know how qualified that man is? Is that man sitting there on the thing? Yeah, he has coached at the Premier League level. He has coached at the youth level. He's coached in Belgium with clubs like Antwerp and St. Troiden and all of that. He's sitting there. Meanwhile, JFF is having their own little coaches clinics that they charge people for, which that certification cannot be used to even get a prep school job in Europe. Not even a prep school job. So that's the story behind it, guys.
All right.
Go now, back to you.
The question we have, how, because now I see you as one of the persons in specifically in a Jamaica football who you have the vast knowledge of the history of JFF and where things are going wrong. What would you think would be the best solution in fixing this deep-rooted issue?
Wow.
Because the reason
that question will apply to Andy too.
The reason I'm asking the reason I'm asking this is because this is the only way we can see some of these, because I know not only your academy, there's Pembroke, is that Pembroke All Elite, something like that. Ball, there's so much academies in Jamaica right now with talented players. How will these young players get the proper exposure? I'm not talking about with the usage of monetary funds or monetary gain for supply clubs or what. I'm talking about proper exposure.
Who do you want me to tell you how?
Right, development structure. How can we start this?
I will tell you how. It's very simple. We don't need to recreate the wheel. It was done in Belgium this way. About 15 years ago, Joey. Right, Joey?
Actually, I've listened to all what you're saying, and you're right. You don't need to invent the wheel again. You know, you just need to watch in certain countries where they did it. For example, Belgium. Indeed, there is something going on in Belgium and in Holland, especially, as well as what is happening in Jamaica, because of deep political issues. The Dutch team is not where they should have been, and the way what I think what should happen in Jamaica is, first of all, to unite. You know, if I see what Greg and what Phoenix has achieved, if I compare it with the just an example, the accommodation. We just saw a movie about Buster, and if you look at the accommodation and to play on that accommodation, the top players of Holland and Belgium would not even play on this accommodation, on this field. They would already say, no, I cannot play on this field. And if you compare with the players we have at Phoenix, who can do everything with the balls, the tricks, the tactic, the technique, on such an accommodation, on such a field, that is also already a big difference. So I think that what the JFF should do is, first of all, come and watch and see themselves. Because how is the scouting in Jamaica? There are no scouts. Are there scouts, Greg? Are there scouts who go to the clubs, who go to the academies?
The scouts go to their own clubs and scout.
Yes. All right. That's already a big mistake. You should go everywhere.
Joey, you have 13 players called to the national team from the club that is owned by the head of the technical committee of the JFF. And that club, their Premier League team, can't beat these little 16-year-old kids.
Yeah.
The Premier League team. But they don't call them. Here's how, Joey, here's what.
Look, Greg, for me, it's very amazing, really, and Andy has the same. you know, I've been involved with you already many years, yeah. And for my experience in Europe, and if I've what I have seen with other clubs in Jamaica, I'm not talking about football, other football academies, but I'm talking about the Premier League clubs. You know, I'm totally, how can I say it? I'm totally amazed that how the Jamaican Football Federation is going or is handling Phoenix, because when you told me last time that Whisper was not invited for the national team, I fell from my chair. You know, how is that possible? How is it possible that uh, those boys who are sitting there, for me, they are big talents. How is it possible that they are not in one of the national teams? That if I would bring a few of those boys and they would have the Dutch passport or the Belgian passport, they would have made a chance for the Dutch or the Belgium national team, and not in Jamaica. How is that possible? For me, it's amazing. You know,
Joey,
I have
let me
been.
remind you of something. Do you remember when Belgium went to the Under 17 World Cup and placed third?
Yes.
Do you remember that
Sure.
in Nico's team and Kyle's team, there were 5 or 6 players that were
From the
starters
national.
in that national?
Yes. Yes.
5 or
Yes.
6 in that U17.
Yes.
Kyle was the starting number 10, and Nico was also playing, yeah, in either 8 or
Yeah.
10 share switching positions.
Yes.
Do you know that when Kyle played in that under 17, that one of the Dutch national team players had to sit on the bank? That is sit on the bench?
I know. Yes.
Okay. Do you know
Yeah.
that Jamaica, who didn't even qualify for that World Cup, did not call Kyle for that Jamaica under 17 team?
I
One
remember. Yeah.
playing on deck, winning the
Yeah.
league with 6 players from
But
the
you're
Belgium.
forgetting something. You're forgetting something, Greg. You're forgetting something. Genk is one of the top clubs in Belgium. So you're playing in one of the top clubs. You know, in Belgium, you have 4 top clubs, and in Holland you have 3 top clubs, which has been seen like top clubs. In Holland you have Ajax, Feyenoord, PSV. After that you have AZ. You know, you have FC Utrecht, but those three are who are counting. In Belgium you have 4. You have Anderlecht, you have Standard Luik, Standard Liège, you have Club Brugge, and you have KRC Genk. So you're playing in a top club of Belgium, which is Belgium is now calculated as the top 3 of the world. Already a few years, not they have not won the World Cup, but they are calculated in the FIFA rank as the number 1, number 2, number 1. And then you play in a top club and you're not selected in Jamaica. My experience personally, I was national coach of the Cayman Islands in 2018. Maybe you guys remember that game. And we played against Jamaica in Jamaica. And I was the coach. And my task was to keep the score as low as possible.
Hold on, let
That
me ask you a
means,
question. You were what?
yeah,
Coach of what?
Cayman Islands. You remember? You were in the
Yeah.
stadium
I
in
just want to do that for the
2018.
public record. You're the national team coach of Cayman, and you also have been coaching with Phoenix since 16, this 2016. Okay, just
Yeah.
make it.
What I want to say is that for me it was surprised that we only lost 4-0 in your own home with players who are magnificent, who are top players. Because we were just starting after 4 years, the Cayman Islands didn't have a national team. And we started to train. I got 3 or 4 weeks to prepare for the game. So you have a team with really fast players, good technical players, and you play against a team which has only 60,000 people who are living on the island, who just start after 4 years again. They start with a national team who were training only 3 weeks, and you win only 4-0. You should have smashed with 10 or 15-0.
Absolutely
So,
pathetic. I know the game
sorry?
that you're talking about. Absolutely pathetic that the national team is not beating teams such as Grenada and Nicaragua and Cayman and the St. Vincent and the Grenadines in recent years by a goal or 2 goals to 1 or 2 goals
Yeah.
to 0.
Clutch.
Yeah.
And,
It's
So
and, and, and
something,
guys,
so something is wrong. You know,
right,
something is wrong. And
Joey,
you have really big talents in Jamaica. What I've seen, Jamaica should be on the level of Brazil, of Argentina, with those talents. What you have, the speed you have. If you put on the tactic, the tech, and you explore the technical things, and you unite each other, everybody united, and get the real talents in the teams where they should belong. You're gonna smash. Really,
right,
believe
right.
it.
I wanna add something to what Joe is saying. I was recently in the under 20s World Cup in Santo Domingo, um, and I see an island like San Lucia, San Lucia,
Yes, I know, sure.
um,
Lucia. Yeah.
San Lucia, yeah. Uh, where I scout, I listed 6 players. They were just 15 and 16, and to see this team perform the way they did with a little bit of nothing, because I talked to the coach and the president, and they say, Andy, we don't have anything. If you can donate balls, and so they didn't make it to the World Cup qualifier by 1 goal.
Hmm.
You see where I'm going?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that means that they're playing out of they're punching above their weight, basically.
Right. And they have another option. That's it. This same team will play qualifier again because of their age, 15, 16. So I'm saying, okay, St. Lucia is doing this. What Jamaica is doing? What
Andy,
Jamaica doing?
let me share what I think they need to do. The country needs to do. First of all, you need to have somebody like it doesn't have to be me. It can be Joey. It can be you. It can be um, somebody with knowledge of how Europe did it, Belgium did it. I have the knowledge, and I have actually used it to develop Phoenix Academy. What we need to do is to create a template where all teams are training with a manual the same way. You have people from the JFF that goes around and checks to make sure that they're doing the same manual, that the same developmental manual. Then you need 3 national teams in each age group. Yeah? The A, the B, the C. You bring them in once a week, 2 players possibly from each club, and you have them come in and train, and you show them the system that you want them to play. You show them as basic as can be. Left back, you option 1 pass, option 2 pass, option 3, option 4, option 5. And you continue to work on that. You send them back to their clubs, they work on it. Remove scores from U16 down. No one wins. Because that's what they did in Belgium, right, Joey? Joey
in
gone
in,
again.
Bel- in Belgium they also have a way of uh, I don't know if they have it right now, if they still have it, but you remember the futures, Greg? You know what are the futures?
Yeah, the
So
futures.
in Belgium, you have, for example, the big players, and they are a little bit ahead of their age with their physique. And you have the players who are behind with the physics, and they call them the futures.
Physical, the body.
Yes, yes. If some players who are, for example, 13, 14 years, they are very small, you know, but they are very talented. So they made a sort of two teams, a future team with the players who are very small, and the normal team. So you have two under 15s. You have the futures, the small, the teeny players, and you have the big players, the normal players. So in that way, the futures develop themselves with their own way, because when you are in the youth and you are a player who is physically more strong and he plays against a tiny player, then the player who is physically strong doesn't develop the same as if he would have played with other physical strong players. And the same counts for the tiny player who is with his own physics type of players. He can do more the tactical thing, the technical thing, so they develop as well. So they don't let them aside.
Like what we do, Joey, like what we do with, for instance, Sean and Tom. They're top talents above their age group. So they play U13, they play U15, but they also play in the U16.
Sean Layton and Tariq Muir.
Yeah. But when they play with the U15, the U16, and the Manning Cup, they are told to play differently than when they play with their own age group. When they play with their own age group, they're dribbling and taking on people. When they're playing at the older level, they're making the through passes, they're moving quickly, pass and move, you know, so they don't get hurt. But what I was trying to say is, when you remove the scores from 16 years down, you no longer have the coach that is happy when a player takes the ball off his weaker foot and shoots with the stronger foot and scores.
Development.
Because the development. So you end up with a player. That's why when you guys see me playing Manning Cup and you see somebody kick a shot, and for some reason you just see the kid doing push-ups. What the hell is Craig doing? No, because I am ensuring that he kicks with that weaker foot, whether he scores or not. Yeah?
Yeah.
And if you don't do it, you're going to push up. The boys will tell you it's a unanimous thing. When you look at my players, no matter how young they are, they're big and strong. Look at how strong Sean and Tom are playing in Manning Cup at 13 years old.
Yes.
Because
that's development. That's
they're
development.
Guys, I wanted to say something before I left, because I leave because I gotta put my daughter to sleep. I get to meet Craig this past November, right? November when I was there, Craig.
Yeah.
And we make such a. I mean, I see the passion what this man do, what he's doing, and I said, look, man, money's not everything in life, okay? Because money's not everything in life. Though it's necessary to live, is necessary, but it's not everything in life.
No.
The things that he's doing, make me find ways to try help him just get these kids out from there. We're talking about Costa Rica, and I'm gonna say a name now, Craig, and this is maybe new for you. Then I mentioned to you about Peru, right?
Yeah.
With Alianza Lima.
Yeah.
And then another club from Venezuela. Okay.
Yeah.
So now I'm gonna have a meeting with the director from Benfica from Portugal.
Yes, sir.
Who do you think I mentioned?
Phoenix. Blood for life.
Who do you think I mentioned?
Tell me. Dujaun Richards.
I'm gonna have a meeting with the director from the academy from Benfica. Because Benfica want to come to Miami. They want to purchase my academy, Craig.
Yeah.
And I denied. But they find out that I was working in the Caribbean side, okay?
Yeah.
With Chicago Fire. So now the director wants to make me get him all these kids. Who do you think I mentioned? We're talking about Benfica. If you Google Benfica,
Yeah, I know
the top is the top European team that sell the most last year. 529 million euros in players. Benfica from Portugal. Google it. You're gonna see it there.
I know Benfica. I know it's top.
So I'm gonna have a meeting with them. The 15th, and this is another door. When you meet people like this guy that doing what he's doing, you do things from the heart, man. You know, Craig is just doing something that we doing here with my wife and we're just trying to get kids out the street using sport. And if I can have a lot of professional players help me do the same thing, there will be so much better kids out there. So does Craig need the federation on his side? No. The federation need him, but he doesn't need them. Neither the kids. The kids will develop. The kids will get the opportunity by themselves, no matter what. So, Craig, all the respect, Joey, Jamar, Rush. I don't know if military is out. Guys, it was a pleasure. Always a pleasure, Craig, and the boys back there. We're working on everything. You guys are gonna be out there. The guys that are coming up here to participate with me in the tournament also. Yeah.
Bell and Dylan and
Great, Andy.
Yes.
Nice to have seen you again, Andy.
Joey, it's a
I hope to
pleasure,
see you
big man.
soon.
Yes. Hey, listen, next trip to Jamaica, next scouting, I hope I can be on that list, Craig. All right. Make sure.
Of course. Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Mr. Harry.
Big up.
Thanks, Andy.
Yeah, Jamar, Rush.
See you in.
Pleasure to meet you guys. Good night.
Yeah, man.
Good night.
But Craig, before we go, I want to talk to a few more of the boys, man. They got lost in the stream a little bit.
Yeah, man.
You want to talk to?
Who talk to Dante? I did see. You did say. Where did you say Bike was on his way to Costa Rica as well?
Bike going Malta.
Oh, Malta.
We could talk to Bike, man.
Where is Bike?
We call big bikes.
Outside, do the thing with each other.
While them outside, I watch the car them. Oh, I call them still.
Yeah.
So why you go for Bike? This ball and Nick. Where is he going?
Nick just came back from North Carolina, so we're repurposing him and then sending him to Belgium.
Let's talk to him about that a little bit, no?
All right.
About the trial. Yeah, tell us, what was that experience like, being in a professional environment? Tell us some of the differences and just the overall experience.
Speak up. You have to speak louder.
It was, difference. The real only differences from here in Phoenix is the field, equipment, all that, more money, resources, because they're a bigger organization in terms of how they, their facilities. But, some of the, training aspects, we kind of get the same things. Guys are out there. So they're getting paid, so they're out there training, no plan for money. Every professional, they have a job to keep. Especially our childless coming in. They're trying to keep their spot. They're not gonna just let you come in and take their spot. So you really have to work hard
And you think you could slot in an environment like that? You think you could manage? You were there. You know how it feels. You think you would be, you'd fit in there?
Yeah, I think I could. Just
They offered him a spot there at North Carolina. You know?
Yeah, you said they offered him a academy spot, right?
Yeah, a contract. An academy contract is where you can play in the first team. Yeah, but because he's only 17, he wouldn't sign a pro contract yet. So he'll be able to play at 17. But for us, I would, as he said, the facilities are better, but the coaching is not necessarily better. I mean, look, you have Coach Joey coming, you have me coaching them, you have high levels of intensity, you have the track program behind it. Yo, Phoenix track program, Mona, track program. Phoenix football team can beat Mona football team can beat the track team. You know?
All right, coach. What we are going to need, me and Rush at this at Sports TV, we're going to need splits. 40-yard splits, 100-meter splits. Like that's a part of.
They're laughing. Mikey's here. Yeah, go ahead. What you saying?
That's the part of things that we like to push. As you know, we place a big emphasis on young players because we want to see our national team develop. That's really one of the big reasons why me and Rush ventured down this road.
Because one of the things that we need to do is to be able to develop the speed side and the endurance. All right, let me give you an example, right? Shaba, just listen to this. What was at the end of training after a full-time game? What did you guys do this evening?
400-meter sprints.
You hear that? Say it louder, man.
400-meter sprints.
How many of them?
2.
And what you had to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna run out and wait until them a little higher up and then speed catching.
So what happened is the elite players, right? You have trialists that come in. When we done finish training, I say, okay, Nekan and Shaba, you two line up. Then we put a trialist and we make him run off about 50 meters. And then say, catch him on the 4.
Yeah.
Man, for run him down, come all the way around. If they don't catch him, they go again. Yeah? So at the end of training today, there are 2 400-meter sprints. Normally we do 2 400 and 4 back-to-back 200s. So at the end of the day, what you end up getting is a player that is fit, strong, fast, have good technical running technique. Just so you know, I was on JC's class 3, 4x100, so I actually know how to run.
Class 3. Under 14.
Eh?
Under 14. I don't know if anything before class 2 counts in a coach.
Eh?
I don't know if any classification before class 2 counts. Class 3.
If that counts?
Yeah, I don't know if any. Yeah, that's under 14. Yeah. Not something to hark at.
Remember, somebody damage couldn't run fast after that, but the technique is important.
Yeah.
So anyway, see you break, Mikey. The man selected.
Quick one before we go to Mikey. Hold on. Somebody asked something in the comment section. Craig, you train girls?
Yes. And somebody else asked something else. They asked why I don't send my players to Slovenia, to Slovakia.
Sweden and Norway and those places.
Slovenia, Slovakia, Norway, Sweden, Denmark, and those countries. Well, we were at the champions of Slovakia some years back, trenching. And Kemar Reed was there, Raylan Paisley was there, Kyle Butler was there, and Leon Bailey was there. And I was the technical trainer at the club, technical coach for skills and those things. So we were there for a period of time. The reality is, this is how football is in the world. You move from where you are and you take steps. Some people have to take small steps. Right, so you go to a club in Jamaica, you go to a club in Norway, you go to a club in Portugal, you go to a club in Belgium, you go to a club in Spain and in Germany, you go to a club in England, and you go to a club in Madrid, Spain, or whatever. You don't always have to take those steps. And some of the steps that you may take, if you take the wrong step, you get left out somewhere in La La Land. So the club, for example, Chevron Marsh was sent, I think, by his club to a club in is Iceland or Finland. Yeah. Very cold, very dark, very depressing. He didn't do well. Yeah. How much scouting goes on in Finland? Yeah. How much scouting is gonna go on in Slovenia? Very little. Yeah. So if you can get into Belgium or into Portugal or even into a second division club in Spain, you have a better chance of making the next jump than if you were to go to Norway. Yeah? Or to Norway is not so bad, but Slovenia and those clubs, right? Plus for me, I find that the mentality, the culture is very, very different to Jamaica. It's very, very rigid. I've been in Slovakia for years. I mean, I know the people there well. Chola Ling, who was the Ajax legend, owns Trenchant. The culture was different. Brother, I'm a very well-traveled individual. You know, you can go back and see pictures of us there. We've sent players there. The experience that I have though is the best possible place you can get into, especially in terms of the minimal salary cap that they pay non-EU players. Is Belgium, 87,000 versus France 400,000 or Holland 400,000 per year. That minimal salary they have to pay the player. So Belgium is good, Portugal is good, even Spain is good. And you have other smaller countries that are closer to mainland. The Malta situation is good to build a resume if you're a really young player, like a young 18-year-old. You go there, build a resume, you play for 2 years or a year, you show your quality, you have your videos, you have scouts coming from mainland Europe to watch you 1 or 1.5 away, 2 hours away, and you then make your next move.
And you talk about Malta, that's the perfect
Distance all the way out there in Norway, and that cold and that Viking thing, kind of far, brother. Far.
You talk about Malta, that allows us to segue to Mikey, one of the players. Because we spoke to players going to Sociedad, we spoke to a player going to Costa Rica. Now we can speak to Mikey about where he's at right now and his prospects in Malta, which is a European, a UEFA country.
You should ask Mikey about his story. His story is a powerful story. Powerful. You should ask him.
All right. Step up in the hot seat, baller.
All right, so here he is.
All right, greetings, Mikey. All right, so people would know, as I said, I was around the Phoenix program for a while, and this is a player who I like what I saw from him. I like when he played the game. I like his versatility. Unorthodox, you get me? I saying how him look, as Craig Butler would allude to very frequently. You know, I'm not necessarily physically built like the prototypical footballer. However, the way he plays doesn't necessarily reflect it. And him very different, you know, like how he play. And talk to us about your story, since as Craig wants us to start there. Tell us what Craig is talking about.
My story is a long story and very emotional at times. Well, I feel great and I always give credit to my coach, Craig Butler, for these opportunities and for always pushing me each and every day, posting and fight. Well, it started from when I just came to Phoenix. and played my first game, and I was like, yeah, coach like me and thing. I was like, I'm gonna train. So the next day, look at me and say, you really want to? No, I asked him, what should I do to become a pro footballer? And he looked at me in the eye and said, run.
Yeah.
He left like in 2 days. He was back and forth in 2 days. I wasn't looking at like say he was watching me come. I said, gone. So when he leaves, he messaged me, me even know how to get my number. And said, make sure you keep your promise and make sure you say I run. So that build up my confidence and give me a boost to know that he cares. So
All right, so tell me why you think he insisted that you ran so frequently when he just saw you. Why you think that was?
Because at the first game, I played for Phoenix. I win a lot, and he saw the potential at doing it park. So
tell him how much you win.
That's what I was trying to get at.
Him a go around it.
Tell him how much you win.
Nearly 30. I even like show like the picture of them and everything. Yes, sure.
Yeah, so that's what I was getting at, as I mentioned, not necessarily
300 pounds at 14.
Goodness.
Go on, finish your story.
So then I run, and I run for 2 months. I never know say him come. And I say, no, I chance it and train today. That's the worst nightmare. Me or somebody like he never wait for nothing. As him look on the pitch, I kick the ball. And him course for the whole day. I never touch back a ball for the rest of 4 months. And then him said, yeah, so that was 6 months now. And then he said, you can start work for your technical and start work now. I mean, think it was all that technical. Only for core, I start look at him saying he could be the abs now. Because you're going to need girl and everything. So I'm starting. Yeah. And then I start get speed. I don't know where the speed come from. So I start do a lot of short sprint. Remember do a lot of short sprint. So I start get speed and then turn into a tank. So I used to play, I start out at centre back. Start me out at centre back. Teach me how to be calm, because normally when we just come Phoenix, normally kick out the ball and him say, oh, no, none of that. And so go wide, get the ball, play it, look for your 6 or your wing back.
Yeah.
Then, so I got the speed now, I start play right back. So I can run on the player, tackle him and win the ball, play the ball simple. And then, you see me get the speed now. So, you know, time on time, Phoenix don't have a normal system. Them system here, like, yo, you have to think, say, yo. And when them work, you have to wonder if you're human doing them things. So, it starts to overlap, and you have to square them. When you overlap, and you have to run back. So you can't run back, the man who play right wing have to fill in your space. But more while, you have to fill in your own space. Your job that. Because coach will say, and all the time you can overlap, it's your choice. But you have to overlap at least 10 times, because for coach, if you don't overlap 10 times, you're not doing nothing. So we get the speed and speed up rapidly. Then we start playing right wing. Them time the money could never start. That's what day. Start playing right wing. And then start playing right wing, get ball and square, everything. That's how I get my speed and everything. And then now dropping a centre forward when Mona really need a centre forward. And him just give me the base, tell me, just turn and kick and brace up, use my body and brace and lay and get the 8 a shot for the goal, or I can pivot and get a shot.
What about loop?
Yeah, you can loop, peel, draw with the defender.
Check.
Really,
all right. Not
just one, it's a lot.
Yeah, man, and all right, and you play as a, not only do you play as a forward that peels off turns and get shots and goal, but I've also seen you be a pivotal part in the build-up play, and I think it's a trademark pass of yours, off the chest. lay off to the wingers or to the attacking midfielder. I see you doing that quite a lot. Tell us about your role as like a pivot, how you helping build up play, not necessarily scoring the goals, but being a provider for your 10 or your wingers to get into good positions. Tell us how you end up being so good at that.
Coach always tell me, you give and you get.
Yeah.
Do unto your others what you want them to do to you. So if you lay properly to your 8 and them help up with the build-up plays, you will get back feedback from them for scoring goals. So
play with a
kind heart. You always tell you play with a kind heart. So you give and you get.
So that's why we see Liam Bailey passing the ball so much on top of the box instead of shooting.
Kind heart.
Yeah.
Even though me and Rush would have loved to see him crack it from outside with the left foot into the far corner, I can tell you that.
What do you think is gonna happen after this? If you give so much to your teammates, what do you think is gonna happen? They're gonna give you all the balls. You're selfish and you try to do everything for yourself. Then you need to go and play go the 100-meter track run. Where one man alone do it. But football is a team sport. And one of the things that you have to do, even this kid Jade, one of our top strikers, we have to say, teach him to play with a kind heart. Be unselfish. The more you give, is the more you get. You lay the ball instead of trying to turn, they'll play the true pass and you go finish easier. You know? If you look at how Whisper plays, it's the same way Whisper plays. Whisper not selfish, you know? Whisper not selfish. I play the ball, give you a give back, and then we're going to dismantle it. Just look at how it plays. It's how all Phoenix are taught to play. Share the ball, share the game.
And Mikey, so going forward, because we just went in the past now. So we're going forward now. What are you doing right now, and speak to us about your perspective or your potential trip to Malta to show off your talent. So what are you up to right
now? I'm up to right now just working on my fitness. I started today. Coach gave me a lecture this morning. I'm looking to myself. Going to Malta, going to work very hard, knowing that I'm big and I really want this opportunity. And I'm going to fight very hard each and every day, every second, every minute.
Mike, you seem like a hungry player. Tell me ultimately, what is your goal? What is your end?
Rush. Come on.
There we go.
Oh yeah.
Come on, Rush. You can't. I will not accept that abuse of the player.
Don't put it in it. But tell me about your end game. What you want? Do you want to be one of the best players in the world, playing at the highest level, or you would be good coming from where you're coming from? If you make it, say, making £20,000 a week, you would be, and you would achieve your goal.
Yeah.
No. I want to play at the highest level, the very highest.
And that's good coming from all the Phoenix players who want to make it, to that Liam Bailey level, playing in the best league in the world at one of the best clubs. So I like to hear that from the guys. Craig, some people coming from their situation to take care of them family and build them mother house, they would have achieved their life's goal.
Exactly. Self-actualization. That's important. Also, I've been reading some comments about people saying, Bermuda can beat the Malta national team, or Malta players, them not good and rare. You don't get it. Listen again. They have 7 players currently that you can use 7 non-European players, non-Maltese players in your team in Malta. What it means then is that doors are open for non-European players to go and showcase their talent. It's not about whether or not the Maltese players are good or not good, right? What is important is that the opportunity is there for the young players to go to play in the league. If you look at the Maltese league, you probably have maybe 6 foreigners playing on each team, minimal, right? So that leaves 5 or 4 Maltese players. Yeah, those foreigners would then play, get the opportunity, and move to another level. That's how you do it. You understand? So Malta for us is a good stepping stone, and it's also good to have a good relationship with the club, and so the club can also earn money from transfers as well, from the relationship. And that's how what we're about at Phoenix. We're about Sports Mgt. We're about synergies. Why are we bringing Joey Yapchung to Jamaica? Because Joey Yapchung is a top coach, highest level. And he and I are friends, which is not very easy. So he and I get along, right? And I trust him, so I can lead my players in him and go hunt the money. You get me? Go look players to transfer. Yeah? And at the end of the day, Joe will make money, his family will make money. We'll develop better players, we'll get more players coming, we'll develop the academy players more. And eventually, we'll be able to help the national team. So it's not about just Malta are good. We have a lot of players at Phoenix. And you can't send all the players in the Belgian league. You can't send all the players in the You can't send all the players in the Slovakian league. You have to have opportunities for stepping stones. And God has blessed me with earning the respect and the support of all these countries' football clubs. And I believe that it's my responsibility to try and help, you know. We had this kid Messi on our show yesterday saying he only trained once or twice in Phoenix. The man lived in Europe for 3 months at my expense. When I know full well that I would not make a dollar from that transfer for him. 3 months in Europe. Yeah? You know what for a hotel room per night in Europe?
Too much.
At least €100. Yeah? So
coach,
but Greg, your mission is not only about Phoenix. Phoenix is the basic, but your mission concerns all Jamaica.
Correct.
Concerns all Jamaican football.
That's why I enjoy it. You're one of the few people that actually get it. You know?
Last thing before we wrap up, Kirk, I'm rush. About to leave soon.
Yeah,
so,
sorry, Jamar, before you get there, sorry, just Joey actually does also have to go as well.
The day starts here.
Yeah,
The working
so Joey,
day.
appreciate you coming in and
Yes, it was a pleasure. Thanks for inviting me. And
thanks for having us.
Yes, and Rush and Jomar, nice to have met you.
Big up, Joey.
Hopefully we meet soon and we have more talk.
When you're in Jamaica, you definitely have to come on our show and give us an interview. It'll be interesting stuff to talk about.
Sure about that. Yes,
Right.
we keep contact. Greg, thanks for inviting me. And
love you, Joy.
We speak soon, yeah.
You gonna sleep now, or are you gonna?
Yeah, no, I have to work, you know.
Love you, Joy.
All right. Please, next time, tell me a day before, yes.
Okay. I promise.
Thanks, and boys, see you, boys.
Brandon, he only gave me the link today. Remember, I'm not it's him. He did it.
But it was a pleasure for me. Don't worry. It was really nice. I feel honored. Yes. All right, boys.
Thanks, Joey.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining with us at Craig Butler's Football Unfiltered.
Yep.
Please like and subscribe and do all of those things so we can do more things, right?
Yeah.
Love you. Gentlemen.
Bye.
Phoenix
Love you all. Never die.
Love you, Joy. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you guys. Bye-bye.